We can praise, honor, and esteem the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Excuse me. We're going to pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. And they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me when I have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Come on with us, Sibby. Psalms 88 and 1.
O Yahuwah Elohim of my salvation, I have cried day and night before you. Let my prayer
Shalom,
come
Jay.
before
Shalom,
you.
Brother Marvin. Shalom, Sister
Incline your
Kelly.
ear unto my cry, for my soul is full of troubles, and my life draw near unto the grave. I'm counted with them that go down into the pit. I am as a man no strength. Free among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave, whom you remember no more.
Free among the dead.
And they are cut off from your hand. You have laid me in the lowest pit, in darkness, in the deeps. Your wrath lie hard upon me. You have afflicted with all your ways. Selah. You have put my acquaintance
Peace, Brother Omar.
far from me. You have made me an abomination unto them.
Come on.
Shut up, and I cannot come forth. My eye mourned by reason of affliction.
Listen.
Yahuwah, I have called daily upon you. I have stretched out my hands unto you. Will you show wonders to the dead?
Will you show wonders to the dead?
Praise you. Selah. Shall your loving kindness be declared in the grave? Your faithfulness in destruction. Shall your wonders be known in the dark, and your righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? But unto you have I cried, O Yahuwah.
Psalms 45 and 1. After that, Proverbs 10 and 12. I wonder, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of reading with some other stuff. We're gonna read some book. I'm gonna read something else, because Mama Steph ran across something that I read when I was in my 20s. And that really the basis of a lot of things as forth as that I be discussing is really the basis of that. And I read that most of this stuff for her today, because a lot of niggas in here in the clubhouse space did not want her to read the things that are in there. But what we're going to read is you're going to understand why you see the society the way that it is, why I be mentioning some of the things that I be mentioning. Because I got a friend of mine, she'd be like, when I hear you preach, I think you a misogynist sometimes. The reason why a lot of women think that, because I am not attacking women. I am attacking social constructs that you have been manipulated to accept as real life and that you don't understand. And I told y'all this plenty of times, the best way to control the people is to keep them emotional. When they're emotional, they're easily controlled. You have no idea, for the most part, that everything that you believe should be done in society, in life, you were manipulated to believe that. You know what I'm saying? And you were directed to believe that. And you're going to read how they literally have set up the fact of that they have made men to be in a construct to make your whole life be about pleasing a woman on every cut and corner. It's not because this is your name. You have been manipulated to believe that this is the way to be, because they wanted to make you one thing and one thing alone, and that is a consumer. You know what I'm talking about? And I told you this before, because this is the basis. I read this stuff in 99, and 98, and 2000, and 2001, and 2002. And I've seen that in my day-to-day life to know that I'm not following these social constructs. And I don't give a damn who don't like it. I will not be belittled. I will not be badgered. I will not be shamed into participating in a manipulative society to satisfy those who have been manipulated by it. I absolutely and utterly refuse. But we're going to read some. Did any of y'all remember what I told y'all why the Illuminati was started? Shalom, Jay. Shalom, Emma. Yeah. What did they start it for?
To go against Christ.
Not to go against Christ, specifically. Not even just that one. They said it's specific verbiage. They said they wanted to destroy the Bible without touching it. Not just with that, just period. Whatever means that they could go about to do it. Now, we're going to read in some of these protocols and things of this nature where it literally tells you this. And then we're going to come back to see how love covers all sins. So, I would tell them this. I done told y'all this before. Before I got in the word, I studied every religion known under heaven. All these ancient deities that you done read in this book and we done discussed, I was reading that when I was 17, 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? When I was in prison, I studied every last one of them. Every last one of them. So when I got in the word, and actually because I was given the testimony of Mashiach first and not this trash work that these niggas be out here serving, I seen that these gods are not, because I heard that growing up, man, Horus is Jesus. I heard all that. But guess what? I read about Horus though. Before Kemet on trial and all this stuff, and it was cool. I was reading all that when that was just at least in Jacksonville, because New York City, different type of stuff be going on. At least in Jacksonville, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, there used to be, I told y'all there was a black bookstore on Lim Turner, nigga. That's where we bought them Dr. York scrolls from. That's where I bought the ISIS papers from. That's how I got Message to the Black Man from. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I had a book in my lap, a pistol in the corner, and crack in my pocket while I'm on the block or in the trap. The day I went to jail to go to prison, nigga, we was reading 360 questions to ask a Hebrew Israelite, written by Dr. York. Literally, who was my witness? That's what we were doing. I was literally on that type of time. So when you get in the word and then you see these things and then you look at these outside things, you see that you cannot bring in the stuff of the world into Yahuwah's house. You can't bring that stuff and that thought process in here. 1 John 2:15, you can't bring that in here. It's not going to work. Right then you're trying to mingle seeds. You can't bring that in here.
Love not the world, neither the things in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Abba is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes.
And the pride of what?
Of life.
That's people's biggest problem. The pride of life. Go ahead.
It's not of the Abba, but it's of the world. And the world pass away and the lust thereof.
And the lust thereof. That's when you look at the heavens and earth going to pass away. See, when the heavens and earth pass away, the lust thereof go with it. Go ahead.
But he that do the will of Elohim abide forever.
But if you got to doing the will of God, you got the Ruach HaKodesh, and the Ruach HaKodesh, or the word of God, can never be destroyed. That's why it's got to be in you, not on you. Come on back and run me Psalms 45:1.
My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue dependeth already.
Pause for a second. How would I explain the pride of life, or what does that look like? I got you. Hold tight. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You are fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured into your lips.
See, that grace poured into your lips. See, these stupid niggas think grace in this book mean a grace period like for a bill. That's not what that means. That means this man is showing you favor and acceptance when you're undeserving of favor of acceptance. That's why he say grace is poured into this man's lips. So this is one of the evidences if you want to, shalom, Imishram. This is one of the evidences if you want to know if a man's son of God, because grace should be in his lips. See, if grace ain't in his lips, then the spirit of Christ ain't in it. I've told you for years that it's not hard to identify. You got to open your eyes and stop being a damn fool and going with groupthink. Or your mama black. It doesn't matter. As we were reading those protocols of the elders of Zion, which we're going to read some of these protocols, so just hold tight. I'm trying to let a few people cycle in here. I ain't want to jump off the porch of it, off the top, before people jump on in here because we're a little behind. You know what I'm talking about? So listen. A lot of people ascribe it to Jewish people. If you look at that and you ascribe that to racial construct, you already going to be off kilter. I've told you plenty of times, it's not about race, it's about power, and it's about tribe. People are going to protect their tribe, and that's what they're concerned with. Because remember, Russians are different from British. So a British person has different objectives and aims than a Russian person does. They may look the same, but they're not the same. See, a lot of black folks always scream, white people stick together. Clearly, you ain't read history because they don't. We've already went through that before. We don't have to go through that in detail. Every tribe is concerned with the survival of the tribe. Germans are not the same as Norwegians. So therefore, they have different concerns. But because you worship Mr. Charlie, you believe that Mr. Charlie operates in a way that you don't operate. How many of y'all done heard black or shalom, brother Shaul? How many of y'all done heard black or men or women say that I don't see white men arguing with they women about this stuff when they the ones who created it? You know why? Because in your mind, you believe that Mr. Charlie is above reproach, that he can do no wrong, and that his woman loves him so much that she wouldn't dare utter a word against him. But when you step outside, what's good, though? When you step outside in reality and go around them people, they talk just as bad about they men as black women talk about theirs. And white men talk about white women just as bad as you talk about theirs. This is regular stuff because it's not about race. It's about the social construct. It's about the social construct. You have to throw that race stuff in the trash. I told you, it's the cause of victim mentality. And we're going to read it. It's to create to you have a common enemy so that you focus on that enemy instead of the solution, which is Yahuwah. But let me see what my man's asked. He said, that's how most brothers I know like myself come to the word, by studying things that was on the left-hand side, different doctrines and philosophies, which the most... I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I wasn't looking for no word, G. I wasn't. That wasn't even on my mind. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got out of prison. I'm like, boy, I got to get out my mama's house. I don't want to be here longer than 90 days. And I got to figure out how to do it without selling crack. That was the only thing on my mind. I can't stay here. I don't want to be here. And it wasn't nothing against her. I already know. One thing I know in life, boy, niggas will love you till you broke. And a woman will handle you any type of way when you broke. I don't care who it is. Your mammy, your sister, your old lady, it don't make no difference. Nigga, you could have been paying bills for 30 years straight. And you fall off. And they're going to be looking at you crazy. And they're going to be talking about you. And they this, that, there, and the third. And I'm like this here because I'm already knowing nigga probably thinking I'm finna go back to selling crack. But I told Lil Muffin, I looked the dead in the face. When that man gave them 5 years, I said, when I get up out of here, you'll be 18 years old. And boy, I'll sleep up on the underpath before I sell a rock to take care of either one of you niggas. And I mean that. I'm dead serious. I'm talking about I got sentenced June 23rd, 2005. I looked the dead in the eyes and told her that. And I was dead serious. I ain't selling nothing. It's over. You gonna be grown. Y'all on your own. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not going to prison. No, absolutely not. Because when you go to prison, nigga talk about what you shouldn't have did when they were benefiting off of it. I don't want to hear that, John. Y'all kiss my behind. Ain't no anger or nothing. I just know how the game goes. See, a lot of people think, oh, you probably hurt. I ain't hurt, nigga. You just know how the game go, and you got to let it be known, man. I know how the game play, baby. Ain't no hard feelings. Ain't no beef. Ain't no pressure. But I know the game, baby. I know how it go. I ain't going out like that. What's good, my G? Yeah, I ain't going out like that, man. Nah. It just is what it is. You have to know the difference of knowing what something is and not taking it as ascribing as this is coming from a place of hurt or this and third. Some things you just know the game. You got to learn the game, baby, because it's real out here. Come on, man. Finish with read verse 2 again, Psalm 45.
So you are fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured into your lips. Therefore, Elohim have baruched you forever. Gird your sword upon your thigh, Almighty, with your esteem and your majesty. And in the majesty ride prosperously because of truth and meekness and righteousness. And your right hand shall teach you terrible things.
Give me Proverbs 17 and 9. We talked about it last night. I'm stack. We're going to stack and we're going to roll. After Proverbs 17 and 9, Proverbs 10 and 12.
He that covered transgression seek love.
That's right.
But he that repeat a matter separate friends.
He that covered transgression seek what?
Love.
He that covered transgression seek what?
Love.
See, your God seek love. That's why he covered it. That's why he said his forgiveness with him that he might be feared. See, these dudes don't want to talk like they love salt. I'm telling you, all that means is their mama didn't love them. And their daddy didn't either. Proverbs 10 and 12. We don't want to deal with the first part of Proverbs 10 and 12. We ain't here to talk about that tonight. I ain't trying to talk about no hatred. That's not what I don't care about that right now.
Hatred stir up strifes, but love cover all sins.
Love cover what?
All sins.
It cover what?
All sins.
My God, today. What this is I want, man. Excuse me. Is it Isaiah 44? See, they don't like to talk about that. The love of God covered all sins. They don't want to talk about that. So let me read y'all something, man. I'm going to read you something from Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. How many of y'all are familiar with Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars? Well, baby, you finna read it again. And I'm going to read you from Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. I'm going to start you.
Is that the dude that was in the CIA or something like that?
No, this was found in a copier.
Oh, that's the pale horse.
No, it's in the book. He wasn't in the CIA. He was in naval intelligence.
Oh yeah.
But he put it in his book. It's easier to find it in the PDF in his book than it is to find a PDF of silent weapons for Quiet War. Because I was looking for the PDF for Mama Steph and I couldn't find it, and then I found it in.
Is that in that book? Didn't they say it talked about don't teach them real math?
Yeah, it does.
And keep them distracted with affairs.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. But I'm going to read you the household industry. The household industry. And after that, we're going to read the tenets of the Frankfurt College. So listen to this. The industries of financing, banking, manufacturing, and government, real counterparts of pure industries of capital, goods, and services, are easy to find because they're generally logically structured. Because of this, their processes can be described mathematically, and their technical coefficients can be easily deduced. This is, however, not the case with the service industry, known as the household industry. The problem with the theoretical economist faces is that the consumer preferences of any household is not easily predictable. And the technical coefficients of any one household tend to be nonlinear, very complex and variable function of income, prices, etc. Computer information derived from the use of the Universal Product Code in conjunction with credit card purchase as an individual household identifier could change this state of affairs. But the UPC method is not yet available on the national or even a significant regional scale. Y'all know what the UPC code is, right? That's the barcode on everything you purchase.
Oh, okay.
Now, what this is going to lead to is something that was not technologically available at the time. And that's why you see the stuff that you look at or purchased or scrolled at on your Facebook feed, why it's marketed to you. Because they were already plotting and planning on that 40 some odd years ago to be able to specifically and directly tailor marketing specific to you. But also with that tailoring of marketing specific to you, they also came up with an algorithm specifically for the purpose of indoctrinating you in the way that they believe that you should be indoctrinated in. You know what I'm saying? And to direct you in the way that they remember, I've always told you this: every nationality of people has their own program. White people programming is not the same, and then even white people programming, it's sub-programming in that. It's sub-programming for Irish people, it's sub-programming for British people, it's sub-programming. Oh, I'm sorry. It's sub-programming for American whites. It's sub-programming for native-born Africans. It's sub-programming for African Americans. It's sub-programming for Asians. Remember I told this dude, tell me only black people got gangsters. Man, you got an Asian mafia, nigga. All that. Every nationality of people has a mafia except for black people. And they put it in all the movies and you think we the only criminals. My God, today. So listen. To compensate for this data deficiency, an alternate and indirect approach of analysis has been adopted known as economic shock testing. This method, widely used in the aircraft manufacturing industry, develops an aggregate statistical sort of data. Applied to economics, this means that all the households in one region or in the whole nation are studied as a group or class rather than individually. And the mass behavior rather than individual behavior is used to discover useful estimates of technical coefficients governing the economic structure of a hypothetical single household industry. One method of evaluating the technical coefficients of a household industry depends upon shocking the prices of a commodity, noting the change in the sales of all the commodities. To put this in a tangible situation that you have encountered, they just did it with the toilet paper when they thought there was going to be a long-term strike with the longshoremen. That's right. All we got is gangs. But then you've seen it during COVID. You know what I'm saying? You see it when they do it with gas prices. You see them do this because they're trying to dictate and see how you're going to respond to certain stimuli. See, what we were telling Mama, because most of y'all in here, y'all remember the videos Chronicles of Judah, man. You don't hear them make them as often as YouTube. But one thing that nigga always mentioned is these people worship the same gods and they move in the same fashion and they do things just to specifically see how you react to be able to maintain power. Now, I was aware of this as a teenager. This is why I watched this nigga video, because I'm like, yeah, I know what he's talking about. But I mention that because what do most people talk about? It's devil worship. Devil worship. And it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. That's why I've always told you that you can't get focused on the simplistic surface level views of things. That's why niggas trash with the word. Matter of fact, since I said that, give me 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Give me verse 9. I'm gonna give you an example.
But as it is written, I have not seen.
Yeah, I know it. He just don't make it. He still don't make a lot of videos on that.
Nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which Elohim have prepared for them that love him. But Elohim have revealed unto us by his Ruach, for the Ruach search all things, yea, the deep things of Elohim. I appreciate
that. Hold on, say that again.
Say, but Elohim have revealed unto us by his Ruach, for the Ruach search all things.
Search all what?
All things.
And what else?
Yea, the deep things of Elohim.
Tell them what deep things mean. Now, I'm going to give you an example of the deep things of God real quickly, because we're going to go to James chapter 2, verse 1, and then we're going to go to 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 8, and then we're going to go in the text and see what that means so you can pull out the deep things of God and not that the children of Israel are black.
That is battles, that's that height of deep things of Elohim, mystery, deepness.
The secrets. Now, you'll hear some of these Jewish folks tell you ain't no secrets, but I'm going to show you here a goddamn lie. Deuteronomy 29:9. When I say a goddamn lie, I mean that in the literal sense. So I know some people tell me that's cursing. No, it ain't. If you damn something, you can say God bless you and you can say God damn you. You mean one of the same thing. And that man said, if any man bring another gospel to you other than the gospel you receive, let him be accursed. You know what that means? Let him be damned. Y'all niggas need to stop being tender dicks and soft in the booty about stuff when the man telling you, go ahead and say that. But you don't want to offend nobody, but you don't care about him offending your God, though. Come on, man.
Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, you stand this day, all of you, before Yahuwah, your Elohim, your captains of your tribes, your elders and your officers, all of them in the Yasharal. To Deuteronomy 29.
No, 29. My bad. That's what's right.
The secret unto Yahuwah our Elohim.
The secret belonged to who?
Yahuwah our Elohim.
But these things.
But those revealed unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law.
So the only thing revealed to you at that time was the law. That's it. But he say the secret belonged to Yahuwah. Tell them what secret means, since they think we're making it up. See, these people will tell you anything to stop you from finding certain things or searching the text for certain things. That's why you got to listen for the voice of the shepherd. Man, you can't be listening to these doggone niggas, man. These niggas don't give a damn about God or you.
That's a thorn to hide.
Oh, my bad too. Hey, please take your younger children and follow them in there, because that toilet got an issue. I might have corrected it. I'm not sure, because if not, you niggas ain't going to have no toilet to use. Yeah, because that junk been stopped. Go ahead.
That's a thorn to hide, to conceal, to be hidden, to be concealed.
To hide, Shalom, Yasha. To hide, to conceal, to keep what?
To keep secret.
Now, we were talking about this last night, right? Now, watch this. Genesis 3:22. See, when we were reading that stuff earlier, because Emma didn't really want to read it. And when I got done in the gym, I was able to read it. See, they were telling her not to read it. But then when I was reading it, them niggas want to leave. You know why they want to leave? Because them niggas know I don't give a damn about them. I don't want to be part of your cliques, clans, or crews. And what you niggas gonna say to me? Because I'm gonna still do what I want to do. You ain't gonna stop no flow of information because you trying to protect some construct that don't even exist. We don't give a damn about no Jewish people. I'm talking about us. Do we ever talk about them people? Because I don't give a damn about them. You know why? Because if you're wicked, you're wicked. I don't care if you're Israeli, nigger-rally, Caucasian-rally. If you're wicked, I don't fool with you. Give a damn about none of that. That don't mean nothing to me. But see, everybody is concerned about protecting their social group or protecting their organization. It's not about protecting your social group. It's not. How about I just said this other night? What you hear most brews say, we making Israel look bad. What you making Yahuwah look bad? You don't never hear nobody say we making Yahuwah look bad. You don't never hear these niggas say that. We don't need to air the nation's dirty laundry. Nigga, your dirty laundry is apparent. You sitting before heaven, nigga. You sitting before God. You don't care about that. Long as the white man don't got nothing to say about what you got going on. The white man your God, nigga. That's why you talk about him all the damn time. I ain't finna sit around here talking about no white man every day. For what? Anything that you spend an inordinate amount of thought process on has become your God. That man said your mind is, he's that trust in you because his mind has stayed on you. If your mind stayed on Mr. Charlie, your God. Give a damn about what them people got going on. Got time for that? We know the people wicked, so what? If you wicked, you going to hell with them. We used to be in the street, you tell them, nigga, man, nigga always talking about them people selling their soul. I say, you selling your soul right now, you ain't got nothing. Nigga, at least he got some trinkets. You selling your soul for a nickel bag and some used coochie. Like, come on, man. Be real with yourself. Come on with it, G.
And Yahuwah Elohim said, behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever.
Look what he finna do.
Therefore, Yahuwah Elohim sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken.
Listen what he finna do.
So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim.
What did the cherubims do? What did we read the cherubims do? They cover. He said, oh, cover and cherub. So if the cherubims cover, guess what they doing? They keeping something what? A secret. They keeping it hidden. Read that part again for me.
So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
That's to guard the way of the tree of life, the Darak of the tree of life. That means the secret. Amos 3 and 7. See, I ain't gonna lie to you. I told Black Jesus Minister this last night. I don't talk to all them niggas. A lot of them niggas be talking. I be hearing they be saying stupid stuff. I don't be talking to them niggas because I remember what the Lord told me. You know what the Lord told me? He said, don't cast your pearls before swine, lest they tread them underfoot. And you remember that's a man of an impure mind. When he say don't cast your pearls before swine, they got an impudent heart. I got enough skill to know that he don't deserve what I'm serving. I'm not selling that to him. Because he ain't going to do nothing but step on it. And I don't step on my word. I sell it plain and raw. I don't put no acetone on it. I don't put no baking soda on it. He gave it to me like this. I'm going to serve it to you like that. I ain't going to put no cut on that. See, he going to step on that. I ain't going to do that. Because, see, I know myself. I know that if he disrespect that man word enough, I'm going to cuss that nigga out. So it's better for me to not do that than to give him that and cuss him out, and he can have reason to be blamed to discard what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm gonna cuss this nigga out. Not all of them, because I don't do everybody, but it's certain ones I ain't gonna call it that. It's certain ones I know I'm gonna cuss that nigga out. Because I know you wicked. You know what I told him earlier, man? I say them niggas look like them niggas suckers, and them niggas look like a lollipop. That's how them niggas look. It could be a blow pop. It could be a cherry pop. It could be a dum dum. Them niggas look like lollipop to me. So them niggas suckers. And when you see that, and guess what? We don't want sweets. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat lollipops. They got to eat mints. You know what I'm talking about? I stay fresh with mine. Mentos, nigga. Fruit and rainbow. No cinnamon. No strawberry. You know what I'm talking about? No, seriously though, you gotta pay attention to that, man. Shalom, brother Ernest. Like you gotta pay attention to that, man. Come on, give me Amos 3 and 7.
Say, surely Yahuwah Elohim will do nothing, but he revealed his secret unto his servants the prophets.
He revealed his who?
His secret unto his servants the prophets.
Now, Lil Johnny mentioned something before we started, right? Of what we discussed last night. Whose name is in them 12 foundations in that city? The apostles, right? So I want you to pay attention to something. An apostle is not a prophet, but yet he functions like a prophet. Now, what verse would you look to explain what I just said? What verse would you use to explain what I just said? Y'all know which one?
Preach for the kingdom.
There it is. There it is. The testimony of a Mashiach is the breath of prophecy. Now, why can we say that? Hosea 12 and 10. You can make it 7 because that's how I feel. See, I appreciate this here, right? See, it be times, it be certain things. It even happened when I had first went to Uber, that my mind goes back to when I was that 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old young man standing on that corner, or standing in front of them partners, or riding in that Cutlass. You know what I'm talking about? Dropping off packs. You understand? And reading that took me back to that time, because this type of stuff, man, niggas was telling me that I was crazy in 1995. You know what I'm saying? Because this part without no word, I've been talking about that. Then when I got in the word with this testimony, I done met niggas who I didn't even know. Say, I heard about you. They say you crazy. I said, I don't give a damn what they say. I know this here. You come at me with that nonsense, and I'm going to knock your whole head off your shoulders. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not with it. And I'm not coming to cut your doctrine up. I'm coming to do what he said, Hosea 6 and 6. Well, I'm coming to swing a sword to pierce your soul. I don't give a damn about your doctrine. I'm coming to pierce your soul. Pierce that heart, nigga. Get yourself together. Care about your doctrine? That's what these niggas' problem is. They care about doctrine too goddamn much. Come on, man.
A merchant, the balances of deceit in his hand, he loved to oppress. And Ephraim said, yet I am become rich. I have found me out substance. All my labors, they shall find none iniquity in me that were sin. And I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, from the land of Egypt, will yet make you to dwell in tabernacles, as in the days of the solemn feast.
Pause. He said, I'll make you dwell in what?
In tabernacles.
As in the day of the what?
Of the solemn
now,
feast.
Remember, we started this Feast of Tabernacles looking at 2 Corinthians 5, that you be clothed with your tabernacle from where? That man said, I'm going to make you dwell in tabernacles like in the day of the solemn feast. You think this man talking about some booths? You think he talking about leaves and branches? This man said, I'm going to clothe you with a house from on high that God made, not man. Not by the will of the flesh, not by the will of man, not by blood, but by Elohim. These niggas don't want that house. You know, I seen the niggas say we ain't in the new covenant because we got to get our glorified bodies to be forgiven of sins. These niggas are jackasses. Why do y'all listen to these people? I don't understand it. I do not understand why you can plainly see that these niggas have absolutely no earthly or heavenly idea what they are talking about. But you listen to them because your mama black.
Niggas listen to them because they just don't know.
My God. You said y'all should say you seen that, but that was the dumbest thing I've seen all week. And I seen some dumb things this week. I told you, man, I only float around in these spaces for possible inspiration to drop word. I don't give a damn about it, doctor. You know what I'm talking about? I've always done that, though. I participate in conversations or look at certain things because I never know where inspiration gonna come from. I don't give a damn what a nigga talking about. I don't be listening half the time. Hell, this nigga just seen, I ain't got no headphones. My phone be in my pocket. So I don't even hear most of the stuff that these niggas say. I don't. I might catch some things here and there. And now I'm at to the point where Mama Steph is at, that I would rather just be around the people that I prefer to be around, because I don't really want to hear what these people are talking about, because they talk about the same thing every day incessantly with no end or benefit for anyone. And it's grievous to the soul, to say the least. Because I don't want to keep hearing that stuff. I don't. I really don't. For what? It doesn't make sense. Read verse 9 again for me, good sir.
And I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, from the land of Egypt, will yet make you to dwell in tabernacles, as in the days of the solemn feast.
In the days of the solemn feast.
I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes.
I did what?
I have multiplied visions and used similitudes.
Use what?
Use similitudes.
Use what?
Similitudes.
By the who?
Ministry of the prophets.
Oh, my Lord. So the prophets have used the similitude. So when you see him say, the law and the prophets was until John, now the kingdom of heaven is preached, it's no more similitudes, it's plain speech. You know why it's plain speech? Galatians 3 and 15. And from Galatians 3 and 15, Romans 16, 25.
So, brethren, I speak after the manner of men, though but a man's covenant, yet confirmed, no man disannul or add thereto.
Ain't nobody adding to that.
Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made.
That's
he
right.
saith not, and to seeds as of many,
but seeds of
one.
That seed being.
And to your seed, which is Hamashiach.
That's right.
And this I say, the covenant that was confirmed before Elohim and Hamashiach, the law, which is 430 years after, cannot disannul.
Pause. That covenant, which is the law, is 430 years after what he said to Abraham. This ain't got nothing to do with that. These niggas don't understand that because that's what they was arguing. Is this the everlasting covenant? If you think that covenant on Mount Sinai is the everlasting covenant, I wish I could find the stone that God wrote on himself so I could pick it up and slap you with it. Go ahead, man.
That it should make the promise of none effect.
Should that law that he gave on Mount Sinai make what he promised Abraham of none effect? God forbid. Go ahead.
For if the inheritance of the law, no more of promise.
If the inheritance is of the what?
Of the law.
If the inheritance is of the what?
Of the law.
It is of no more what?
Of promise.
And didn't you hear them niggas arguing with me when I told them God ain't promised Abraham no law? That man ain't promised that man no law. You got to be the dumbest dummy of the dummies to think that that's a promise. Who promises somebody some instructions? Who is that damn simple?
I promise you not to be a homosexual.
I promise you to tell you don't be a sissy. I promise you a sacrificial system. I'm going to promise to you, you bet not steal. That's not a promise. These niggas don't even know what he promised them. All he promised them was long life in the land. My God. Come on, good sir.
For if the inheritance of the law, it is no more of promise, but Elohim gave to Abraham by promise.
He gave to Abraham by what?
By promise.
By what?
By promise.
Didn't we hear that lady the other day when she said, oh, he promised Abraham because he kept the law? I said, you lying. She said, I stand corrected. But you always running your mouth talking about some word, and you ain't know it said Abraham believed Yahuwah and he counted to him for righteousness. You shut your mouth. See, these people, I've been and had a heart attack.
She said he promised him a law.
That's what she said. And when I read her Genesis 15, I promise to you, look here, man, I'm tell you something, man. I done told y'all this before. I'm not being funny. I'm dead serious, right? My uncle sent me a picture that one of our cousins in California sent him. It was my grandma, my granddaddy, my uncle, my mama, and my auntie. And my uncle, the only one left in that photograph. You know what I'm talking about? Now, my auntie died of leukemia, so we don't set that to the side. My grandma died when she was 56 years old, heart attack. My granddaddy died when he was 60 years old, heart attack. My mama died at 68, but the reason why she died was based off the fact that she had hypertensive disorder, which led to congestive heart failure, which led to the renal failure, which led to the hemorrhagic shock that took her life. You understand? So my daddy died at 66, heart attack. So I have always had in the back of my mind, I wasn't going to live that long. You know what I'm talking about? Now, my grandma lived till she was about 90 on my daddy's side. She lived a long time. My paternal grandfather, he ain't lived that long. You know what I'm saying? So I'm knowing, one, okay, pray to be, if it wasn't for the word, I stopped smoking. So the 18 years I did to destroy my body from smoking tobacco and marijuana possibly could be reversed. You know what I'm saying? But you have to take into account all the improper eating that was done before that. You know what I'm saying? See, like this lady told me, you only go to the gym for your physical physique. That's what you think, ho, because you don't know. One, I know, nigga, I got to make sure that I can at least play my part to keep my body operating at a particular fashion. Because, nigga, I know that heart disease is an issue in my genetic makeup. I know this. I've always known this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I done told you this before. These people told me when I came in that county jail one time, that lady was so scared. I seen her body. I seen her skin turn white. That woman looked me in my eyes and said, how are you still alive? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. She didn't even tell me what my blood pressure read. You know what I'm saying? Them people literally put me on blood pressure medication when I was in prison. They said, well, you need these diuretics and you got to take these pills. Nigga, I wasn't even 30. I think I was 26 years old. You understand what I'm telling you? I'm 26 years old on high blood pressure medication. Hell no, I ain't took that joint since I left here. I don't know. Shit, I wouldn't stress.
I guess it ain't clutching all the way right. I guess that's a little too early.
Yeah, it's not going down.
Yeah, it's not plunging.
You got a plunger in there?
It is.
I tried to plunge it.
I don't think we're gonna make it go down.
I was able to when I got here because I had to buy another plunger, but it's a toilet issue. Yeah, probably something in there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I grind. Like that's why I don't like this. That's why I don't care about taking days off or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta go. And I know if I be around these people, I'll probably have a stroke because I'd be just so angry cussing these niggas out. You know what I'm saying? Like not even being funny. Like I already know that. So I can't set myself up for failure. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm already knowing the niggas gonna make me angry. I'm not talking about angry about no doctrine. I'm talking about genuinely angry. So I had to stay away from it. You know what I'm saying? I already know this. Because I know you niggas wicked. You unbelieving. And I know you faithless. And I know that you will destroy anybody in your path just to be right. So I can't interact with people like that. Go ahead, man.
Say, wherefore then the law, it was added because of transgressions.
See, the law was added because of what?
Of transgressions.
And you know that because the law was added because they ate from the tree of life, which he told them not to eat from, which is the law. It's amazing to me that all these biblically astute men, so-called, don't know that the tree is literally called the knowledge of good and evil, and they don't know that that's literally what the law is. The knowledge of good and evil. But that the law is for a righteous man. It's not for a righteous man, but for sinners. So he didn't need it. So that's why it was added. Remember, because we talked about that. It said that the woman was in the transgression because she was deceived. So Adam sought to cover her transgression by love because love is stronger than death. And if for love a man would give up all the merchandise of his house, it would be utterly contemned. But it wasn't his job to cover that transgression. Because remember, he sowed fig leaves trying to cover it. But see, we're going to read this here. This construct of the male-female battle is why these stupid niggas call Eve wicked and these jackass niggas call Adam a simp. Because these niggas can't see the love of God when it's staring them in the face.
You think that law was there in the garden because Satan was there and he's the son?
No, the law instructions.
I was just thinking. You said
the law was always there, but that's why he told him not to touch it
from the beginning. So
it wasn't for him. But the law's here. These are my instructions. You don't need them, though. Don't touch that. Come over here and get faith, live forever. You don't need this over here. But the law, my instructions are my instructions. That's why I'm talking about he's a horrible father. No, he ain't no horrible father, man. He got law, but you don't need the law because you got it. I made you upright. You don't need that. But that's because people don't know what it is. Dude had a room today to Eve have sex with the serpent. You know how goddamn stupid you is to think that a serpent you think the devil having sex with this woman. That's how perverted these niggas is. That's how perverted these niggas is that they think sex went down. And these niggas tell you they godly. How you got sex from that? Ain't nothing that said nothing about no sex. How you get eaten from the fruit thereof is sex, and fruit is parade. That's produce. Literal fruit. But it's not fruit. It's forth. It's like fruit, but fruit of actions or deeds. Like how you got sex from that, cuz? That's the perversion of your own mind. He said, I seen a dude called Adam a simp. People have no problem with speaking on people more right. They definitely don't. Adam from God, you going to call him. You know why he calling Adam a simp? Because he won. See, we going to read it in the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. He's the pussy whipped husband. That's how it's described in here. Listen, come on, man. I just want to make some scriptural points because we want to stay with this the secular stuff to show you the manipulation of society, but we got to bring word in. That's what we here for. Come on with it.
Wherefore then the law was added because of transgressions till the seed should come to whom the promise was made.
So the law was added until the seed should come. The law was added till Hamashiach came. That's where that Genesis 3:22, now the tree of life can be revealed. He finna read it. Go ahead.
ordained by Malachim in the hand of a mediator.
Listen.
Now, a mediator is not of one, but Elohim is one. The law then against the promises of Elohim.
God forbid.
For if there had been a law given which could have given life.
If the law can't give life, and these jackass Israelites telling you it do. Do you know these goofy idiots told me it's mercy in the law? I said, shut your mouth. You niggas is idiots. Ain't no mercy in that law, man. And it can't give life. Who kept the law and lived forever? Name me one. Everybody died. He told you in Zechariah, read it for him. Zechariah 1:1. I ain't got, man. Look here, man. I promise you, if I was on that type of time, boy, I'd dust these niggas up like a doggone dust mop. A microfiber towel. It ain't nothing. Because the difference between me and them is I'm not going to be listening to nothing you say. I'm going to preach this word to you, and I'm going to let God cut you to pieces. I'm going to let God convict you. Because I ain't going to do nothing but give you 100% unadulterated pure cocaine. That word, boy. Snort on that. Come on, man.
In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Yahuwah unto Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Edo the prophet, saying,
What he said?
Yahuwah have been sore displeased with your fathers.
Sore displeased.
Therefore say you unto them, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, turn you unto me, saith Yahuwah of hosts, and I will turn unto you.
That's right.
Saith Yahuwah of hosts.
Listen.
Be you not as your fathers, unto whom the former prophets have cried, saying, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, turn you now from your evil ways and your evil doings. But they did not hear, nor hearken unto me, saith Yahuwah. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever?
Shalom, sample man.
My words and my statutes.
He said, where your fathers at? Do they live for what?
Forever.
Do they live for what?
Forever.
Do they live for what?
Forever.
I don't know what these niggas talking about. How you get life out of that, cuz? You don't get life because you don't eat pork. You was already alive, stupid. You ain't get life because you kept the Sabbath. You was already alive, stupid. What's wrong with these niggas, man? Come on back where you was at. Call that verse out, man. We all got 1 Corinthians 2 on hold. We got James 2 on hold. We got 2 Corinthians 8 on hold. And I'll get back to the silence of weapons of quiet wars in an expedient fashion as you will permit.
Galatians 3:21.
Galatians 3:21. Listen to it.
The law then against the promises of Allah.
God forbid.
For if there had been a law which could have given life, truly righteousness should have been by the law.
Come on. He said truly righteousness should have been in the what?
By the law.
Should have been in the what?
By the law.
Now, see, they sit there and say, Paul talking against the law. See, and the Christians will come with something else. This man tell you, see, that's Deuteronomy 6:25. This is your righteousness, but that's not the righteousness of God. That's why Abraham was described as being righteous, because he believed Yahuwah. See, these niggas don't believe in God. That's why they don't have the righteousness of God. They don't understand the righteousness of God was the tree of life, not the tree of knowledge and good and evil. That's why it didn't justify Adam. And that's why these brews ain't justified right now. See, a lot of these niggas, oh, he's like this here. He sound like a Christian. I sound like your mammy, nigga. And I'll see, when I get like this here, man, people thinking niggas speaking out of pride or arrogance. I ain't speaking out of no pride or arrogance because I ain't nobody. I'm dust and ashes. I got to stand before the same throne. But I say this in true sincerity by the grace of Yahushua HaMashiach. Well, you niggas don't want no problems with me. And I mean that sincerely. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want no problems with me, boy, because I'm going to take you through this book and I'm going to let you know, stop lying on this man. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't work for this man. You damning souls. You need to sit down and shut your mouth. Because the same way Paul says it's unruly and vain talkers among those of the circumcision, and your mouth need to be stopped. You know what I'm saying? This ain't about me. It's about you lying, nigga. Straight up and down. And I ain't talking about lying like people get on this app, Shalom, Sister Gwen, and say people lying. Well, you lying and you putting people's souls at risk, cuz. You putting people's souls at risk, man. You playing games with people's lives, cuz. What is you talking about? See, these pussy niggas be on some old, oh, he want all to shine for himself. Nah, whole nigga, that's what you want. I just don't like the fact you don't know what you talking about. And got the nerve to say something about, you're not coming for nothing what I'm talking about. You just don't like that I said it. Instead of paying attention to what God will is, dummy. You know what I'm talking about? You calling people dummy because you is dumb. You know how I can say that? Because he said in Isaiah 29, you dumb dogs, they can't do what, Civic? You don't remember. You know what it is? They can't bark. That means you don't know what you're talking about. That means you can't warn the people. That means you can't communicate. That's why I call you a dummy. Because he called you one, Mr. Fake Teacher Man. Oh, you don't know about that because you don't rock wrestling. He said, I don't want no problems with your booker, man. You don't know who said that. That Brian Pillman, he dead, though. He had a heart attack. He had a heart attack. You know about Flying Brian? You don't know about the Hollywood Blondes?
You know about Hollywood Show?
No, Hollywood Blondes was Brian Pillman and Stunning Steve Austin. That was Stone Cold before he wasn't Stone. He had hair then. Yeah, man. Yeah, hair then. That was a long time ago. Who, Stone Cold? Oh, well, he was Stunning Steve Austin. He was raw in, but they ain't give him no shape. You know what I'm saying? They were hating on him. They were hating on him decent. You know what I'm saying? They were hating on him decent. Oh no, ma'am, I'm not. I'm not by any means, Emma. I'm just Rosalind and Anthony's son. That's all. Come on, dude. Where we at?
Verse 22.
Galatians 3:22.
But the scripture hath concluded all under sin, that the promise by faith of Yahushua HaMashiach might be given to them that believe.
That's right.
But before faith came, we were kept under the law.
Before faith came, you were kept under the law, or before faith came, you was kept under the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Why? What did we read in Genesis 3? The tree of life was shut up, and it was covered by a covering cherub. It was kept what? Secret. Listen.
Shut up unto the faith which should afterwards be revealed.
If something is being revealed, guess what that means it was? It was secret. It was hidden. But they tell you ain't no secrets. And you listen to these jackasses. Romans 16:25. I thank you. Yeah, praise be to you. Come on.
Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach, according to the revelation of the mystery.
According to the revelation of the what?
Of the mystery.
Now you see how they told me, see, it's his gospel. Shut your mouth. You know what that man mean. He talking. They're trying to see Paul as a liar. It's his gospel. See, I hate dudes who always got something to say about Paul, but they don't really know the law and the prophets like that. Because I was talking about this the other day, and I told you before. Because we was in a room, and a dude was like, book, chapter, and verse, book, chapter, and verse. I'm like, bro, the man been speaking book to you the whole time he been talking to you. Because most of these boys, they don't know word when they hear it. If you don't say Isaiah chapter 6, verse 3, they can't pick up on the word that's flowing out of your mouth. That thing supposed to flow out you, man. But those are God, they going to pick up on that. Those who ain't, they going to miss it. And you got to be cool with that. You got to be cool with that. Everything ain't for everybody to pick up. Man, look here, man, you could come around the way with A-level game. You understand what I'm telling you? I'm talking about hardcore-ism. I'm talking about hardcore pimping, man. Everybody ain't going to pick up on that game, G. Everybody don't have the wherewithal and the mental aptitude and the fortitude to pick up what you're putting down. You got to be okay with that. Because the people who are supposed to be folk, they going to pick it up. Now, I said that I wanted to come through and show you elements of the secret. So let's get to that. Come on with James chapter 2, verse 1. Let's run it. And then I'll get back to these protocols. To the silent weapon.
My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach of esteem with respect to persons. For if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring and goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment, and you have respect to him that wear the gay clothing, and say unto him, sit you here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand you here, or there, or here under my footstool. Are you not then partial in yourselves and are become judges of evil thoughts?
That's right.
Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not Elohim chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith and heirs of the Malkuth, which he hath promised to them that love him?
Rich in what?
Rich in faith.
Rich in what?
In faith.
My God, today. He said he rich in what?
In faith.
I think it's Luke chapter 12. Tell me what verse 30 say. And after that, Proverbs 13:7. Yeah, man. Praise be to you.
For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Abba know that you have need of these things.
Listen.
But rather seek you the Malkuth of Elohim, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Listen.
Fear not, little flock, for it is your Abba's good pleasure
to give you the Malkuth, the dominion, the reign. Listen to him.
Sell that you have and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old.
Listen to him.
Treasure in Shamaim that fail not.
Hold on. Get your treasures where?
In Shamaim that fail not.
Get your treasures where?
In Shamaim.
This the riches of faith, man. They ain't gonna fail you. Guess what? The dollar can fail you because that's a currency made by man. Mm-hmm. The euro can fail you. The dinar can fail you. The Chinese yen can fail you. The riches of God can never fail you because they're indestructible. Remember, he said in Proverbs 8, I give you durable riches. See, we're going to read that because these people actually want you to be a consumerist and replace Yahuwah with gold. This is literally what they want you to do. And niggas doing it. You put more value on material than your God. And guess what your God told you to do? Luke 12 and 15. Then you go back to the verse you in.
And he said unto them, take heed.
Matter of fact, back me up to 10 when he said, who made me a divider over you? Many men don't give a damn about the stuff you acquiring. And you got nerve to people to say, I'm going to jump out here on faith because God want me to be rich. You are alive. If you ever told one, Satan wants you to be rich. Yahuwah don't care. Because that man said, I could take a poor man from a dunghill and set him amongst kings. To make you rich is nothing. But you want the riches of this world so you could die with them. Because that man told you if riches increase, you better not set your heart on it. That man told you riches fly away like wings. He said, labor not to be rich. Cease from your own wisdom. God ain't taught you that, nigga. Now, he ain't tell you to be no broke bum. But he ain't never told you to focus on things that are temporary. That's your stuff. Stop lying on that man. Go ahead, man.
Whosoever shall speak a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But unto him that blaspheme against the Ruach HaKodesh,
Ain't no forgiveness.
and when they shall bring you unto the synagogues, unto magistrates and powers, take you no thought how.
I got you a little too high. Don't matter. Keep on.
Or what thing you shall answer, or what you shall say, for the Ruach HaKodesh shall teach you in the same hour that you ought to say.
Talk to him.
And one of the company said unto him,
there it is.
Master, speak to my brother.
Speak to my brother.
That he divide the inheritance with me.
Divide your inheritance what?
With me.
What he told him.
Said unto him, man, who made me a judge or a divider over
That
you?
man said, who made me your doggone here? I don't care nothing about that. Listen to what this man told him. He said, man, tell my brother to divide my inheritance. He said, man, who told me? Nigga, who made me that? I don't care nothing about that. Why you can't bother me with that? Nobody pays attention to what he told them. Why is you bothering me with this, cuz? That man say, who made me a judge and a divider? He said, I don't even want to determine that. I don't care. Listen what he told him.
He said unto them, take heed and beware.
Take heed and what?
Beware of covetousness.
Because a man's life
consists not in the abundance of the things which he possesses.
Look at man. What good all that money for when you go to the grave? Solomon said you can leave it to a fool. Leave it to a wise man you don't know. He said that's a vexation of spirit. Does that mean that you ain't supposed to labor to leave nothing to your son? No, that don't mean that. But what it means is, why is you making this the central focus of your life? I always told you it's always about perspective. It's not about what you want to do. It's not about even what you would like to attain. It's about the mindset and perspective behind why you want to attain it. And if your mindset and perspective is wrong, it's going to lead you away from your God. Because remember, he said, seek the kingdom of heaven first. Giving you money is nothing. But that's why he said, give us today our daily bread, because as long as you got what you need, what you're complaining for. See, that's what your forefathers got in trouble for in that wilderness, murmuring and complaining. They had everything they needed. Their shoes didn't wax old. Their garments didn't wax old. You had somewhere to dwell, and your bellies was full, and you were still running your ungrateful, disrespectful, rude, and unbelieving mouth because you're unappreciative, you're ungrateful, and you're selfish. You know what I'm talking about? Because you were so goddamn entitled that you was looking at, I got everything I need. Because he never promised you riches. He never promised you great. He never promised you that. He even told a man in your law that your duty was to provide your wife with food, garments, and duty of marriage. Covenantal rights. Cohabitation rights. So we know in the spirit that cohabitation rights is for the Ruach HaKodesh to dwell with you. That's all he owed you. And guess what they tell you? Don't accept the bare minimum from no man. God give you the bare minimum, funky hoe. I bet you won't tell him that. Nigga got a nerve talking about the bare minimum. God ain't never promised you above and beyond nothing. You give him the bare minimum and expect everything? The nerve. That's all he's supposed to give you. He ain't got to give you nothing more than that.
He said be content with that.
And be content. Come on, man. Your forefather Jacob said, if you give me bread to eat, somewhere to stay, and clothes on my back, you'll be my God. I'll give you a tenth of everything I got. Now, who you think Jacob was giving him tenth to? He wasn't giving it to no Levite. But they'll tell you tithes for Levi because they stupid. Man, you know I heard a nigga say it don't matter what Melchizedek is. He talking about that covenant in Sinai everlasting. I say, nigga, how? When he instituted priests out of Levi in chapter 3 and chapter 18 in the book of Numbers. Shut your mouth. You ain't no priest. You a rest haven for sinners, nigga. I mean that from the depths of my soul. And if you felt like I was talking about a nigga you like, you come tell him, I'll tell that whole nigga to his face I said it. These niggas piss me. I hate all these niggas. Y'all already know that. Come on.
12 and 33.
Come on with it.
Say, sell that you have and give alms, provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in Shamahim that fail not.
That's right.
Where no thief approach, neither moth corrupt.
Can't nobody take what God gave to you, man. Who gonna take God riches from you? What nigga can take that from you? Come on, man.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
And that's why a lot of people's heart ain't with God. Because your treasure ain't in heaven, so your heart ain't there either. That's why you're not rich in faith. That's why you poor and broke. Come on and give me Proverbs 13 and 7. Let you who will be esteemed.
There is that make himself rich.
There's that make himself what?
Rich.
And have what?
Nothing.
That's what you seen in that proverb, in that Luke 16 with the parable of the rich man. He made himself rich, but when he died, he ain't have nothing. He ain't had nothing but hot flames and worms. But there's a man who have great riches, who make himself poor but have what?
Great riches.
There's a man that make himself poor and have what?
Great riches.
And what's a man's ransom of his life?
His riches.
A man's ransom of his life is what?
His riches.
Read it one more time without me.
The ransom of a man's life is riches.
Pause now. A ransom of a man's life is his riches. Look at how he come in behind that. He said, there's a man who maketh himself poor yet have what?
Great riches.
And then he say the ransom of a man's life is his riches. Uh-oh. Let's come over here to 2 Corinthians 8. What's good, 10K? Y'all bear with me if I'm slow on the chat, man. My mind, I ain't even looking over there. So don't take it personally. No disrespect. 2 Corinthians 8 and 8. Come on with it.
For you know the grace of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach.
So you know the favor and acceptance of our Lord. What is it that? What is it?
That though he was rich.
Though he was what?
He was rich.
Though he was what?
He was rich.
He made himself.
For your sakes became poor, that you through his poverty might be rich.
See this here? He is the personification of what's in Proverbs 13 and 7 and 8. It said, though he was rich, he made himself poor, so that through his poverty you can have riches. So now we go to Matthew 20 and 20. See, this is a difference of what I say when you go to look at these other guys and they say, oh, he like Jesus. Which one of them guys made themselves poor? Now, who's the person in the law that you can see did this? It's Moses, because Moses was considered to be who?
Son of the
Pharaoh's daughter. That means he had what? He had great riches and he made himself poor. He said, I'd rather suffer with the children of God and suffer affliction with them than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. He did that so you could be rich. See, it was a foreshadowing. See, none of these boys, they don't know none of that. That's why they don't stand on the word like that. That's why they preach death to you every day. That's why they preach carnality to you every day. Yeah. Now, see, he was sold. So remember, his brothers sold him.
Yeah, but I mean, because he was in the Pharaoh and he was not asleep with Pharaoh's wife.
Oh, but no, that wasn't Pharaoh's wife. That was the master of his house.
Oh, okay.
And then he went to jail.
Yeah.
And then when he got out of jail, he got down with Pharaoh. So
He was poor in prison.
he definitely was poor. But see, that's a different one. That's he come out of prison to reign, and everyone that's born in his kingdom maketh himself poor. That's the Ecclesiastes 4 and 14. And that's he make himself humble. See, he came out of prison to reign. Ain't too many people coming out of no prison to take dominion. See, Yahushua came out of the prison of the grave to take dominion. And that's why everybody that's born in his kingdom, they got to humble themselves. You got to humble yourselves because this man made himself poor that you could be rich. How dare you? The unmitigated gall, the disrespect, the niggatry. I'm still going to be the king. See, it's I told you that plenty of times. See, I think you remember. I ain't come in the word like the rest of these niggas. I came in the word that the whole book was about him. First quarter. I ain't know nothing but faith. That's how I came in, but not faith like the church teaches it, but faith how the book teaches it. I ain't never been on nothing else. Yeah, I was told, yeah, we Israelites, all that. That didn't resonate with me. The law didn't resonate with me. Meaning that that's not what I focused on.
Would you say that's like a similar to the, like him like being raised by different parents, Moses?
You could, because it wasn't his mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? Where we at with it, good sir?
Matthew 20 and 20.
Run that for me.
Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping and desiring a certain thing of him. And he said unto her, what will you? She said unto him, grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on your right hand, the other on the left, in your Malkuth. Yahushua answered and said, you know not what you ask. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized
Now,
with?
see, he telling them the same thing like I was talking about. It's easy to say what you would do when there's no adversity. That's why I say you don't even know what you asking me for, cuz. But what them boys said, though?
He said unto him, we are able.
We able. What he told me.
He said unto them, you shall drink indeed of my cup.
That's right.
To be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with, but to sit on my right hand and on my left.
He said that ain't mine to give.
But to them for whom it is prepared of my Abba. And when the 10 heard, they were moved with indignation against the two brethren. Yahushua called them and said, you know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, that they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you.
But he that is,
who be great among you, let him be your minister.
And what else?
Whosoever be chief among you, let him be your servant.
And what else?
Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister.
And to make his life
a ransom for many.
And that's where his riches is at. Remember, he told you to buy gold to him tried in the fire. Remember, because we were talking about poverty. And we're going to come back to that because, you know, it's the Ready Rider, but it's also showing how his love covered all sins. But because he made himself poor, he covered your sins in order to give you the riches that he already had. Remember, we talked about this before. Yahushua didn't gain anything by dying for you. Remember, we read it last night at Daniel 9. He said Mashiach was cut off, but what? Not for himself. And he said he did it for the overspreading of the abominations to literally cover your detestable behavior. See, I was telling Mama Steph this because that Daniel 9 and 27, niggas argue that all day about, see, he was crucified on the Wednesday and rose on the Saturday and all this stuff, and they miss what it's talking about. They missed that verse is literally talking about covering your sins. They missed the fact that this is dealing with the sacrifice that sanctified everybody once and for all, and now there's no more need for sacrifice because you had one to make you perfect. They don't pay attention that in the midst of the week, it's literally telling you this man going to resurrect from the dead just like he told you to because they wanted to say it plainly. That's how you know they're not of God. Everybody wanted to say exact word fallacy is what the niggas call it. You know what I'm saying? Look here, right? Listen, right? There's a time for scholarship and there's a time for preaching. You deal with scholarship when you're dealing with scholars. But guess what? Ain't none of these niggas no scholars because you ain't been trained by no scholar. You ain't been in no scholastic environment. You don't have any scholastic credentials. I don't say that out of disrespect. If you're going to be a scholar, you have to have scholastic credentials. I ain't saying you got to go to Mr. Charlie's universities, but you have to have some type of scholastic credentials.
You know, give me a.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about in our time. I'm talking about in our time. Because to be a scholar, you have to sit amongst other scholars. You have to, meaning that these are men who dedicate themselves to scholarly and intellectual study. Anybody can call themselves a scholar. That don't mean you is one. You just a nigga who wrote a book. James Patterson write books. I ain't saying that to be disrespectful.
Like he said, whatever scientific stuff.
Yeah.
He kind of critiqued it. I guess Terrence Howard took offense of what he, you know.
Because you're not a scientist.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that because you're not one or you're not a scholar that what you say or enumerate might not be valid. But you can't pronounce yourself to be something when you. The reason why I say that is to be a scholar means you spent years in a specific discipline. You spend years in it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why scholars take offense to it, because you thinking that you are something that it took me 10, 15, 20 years to do. You know what I'm saying? Well, now, when you look at scholar in Hebrew in Malachi 2, it just means a Talmud, someone who's been taught. Get it for him, man. Malachi 2, man. 2 and 5, man. And we'll read the Hebrew word. It's nothing. What I'm saying is there's a place for that. But when you're dealing with the souls of the people, well, you need to be a coalef. You need to be a preacher. You need to be an arranger of sentences. That word needs to be orated to the point that the people can understand the reading. You need to be like Ezra. You need to be a skilled scribe, because you need to cause the people to understand the reading. See, scholarship is not going to cause you to understand the reading. That's a different vocation for a different audience for a different time. And these men should be intelligent enough to know that. There's nothing wrong with scholarship, but you're putting scholarship in the wrong arena at the wrong time. You don't speak scholarship to the common people. You speak scholarship with scholars, because this is the exchanging of ideas of particular intellectuals in a particular discipline. Go ahead, man.
My covenant was with him of life and shalom, and I gave to him the fear wherewith he feared me and was afraid before my name. The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity.
That's right.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
That's right.
They should seek the law at his mouth.
The priest's lips should keep what?
Keep knowledge.
They should have the knowledge of God, and the people should seek the what?
The law at his mouth.
For he is the who?
Messenger of Yahuwah of hosts.
Oh, my Lord. Come on.
But you are departed out of the way. You have caused many to stumble at the law. You have corrupted the covenant of Levi, says Yahuwah of hosts. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people.
Listen.
According as you have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the law.
You've been partial in it. Come on.
Have we not all one Father? Have not one Elohim created us? Why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother?
No, back up. I got you in the wrong minute, man. Look at it. We ain't got time to wait. Because we're going to get into something we were talking about the other day. I don't really want to deal with that right now. Let me find out. We won't talk about no marriage and divorce. We just talked about that the other day. We don't need to spend no time on that. Hold on 1 second.
Verse 12.
That's probably it. Go ahead.
It says Yahuwah will cut off the man that do this, the master and the scholar, out of the
This
tabernacle.
is Malachi 2 and 12, y'all. Or whatever. What version?
Yeah, that's Malachi 2.
Come on, 2 and 12.
Say Yahuwah will cut off the man that do this, the master and the scholar, out of the tabernacles of Jacob.
Listen, tell him what a scholar is. He said he's going to cut the master and the scholar out of the tabernacle of David that do this.
To answer, to respond, to testify, to speak, to shout, to make answer, to be answered, to receive answer, to dwell.
That scholar? That's all it is. Somebody who run their mouth. They ain't got nothing to do with what we think it got to do with. Hold on, I think it's used one more place.
That's all they do.
What was wrong with it?
Your daughter put a car in it.
I figured that might have been what it is. Give me 1 Chronicles 25 and 8. That doggone Joanne. No, I figured it had to be I figured it had to be something. I thought she might have put wipes in them, because then wipes will back it up. I was gonna have to use that something I learned on YouTube with Dawn soap and hot water.
Well, I did hot water, but I also put my hand in the toilet and felt big wheels in the toilet.
Oh, you say she put a car in there.
Yes, hot wheels, big wheels.
Oh, I thought you said car. Yeah, we gotta watch out. Come on, 1 Chronicles 25 and 8. No, because she learning on that toilet, and now it's like it's fun for her.
Yeah.
See what happens. 1 Chronicles 25 and 8. Listen.
And they cast lots, ward against ward, as well as the small as the great, the teacher as the scholar.
Now tell them what scholar is there. I think that's the one that's Talmud. I could be getting correct though. Memory bad. I'm old.
That's right.
Soon. So you're dealing with Talmud. That's a disciple. That's a student. That's someone who's taught. And guess what he told you? You can't be a disciple if you don't do what? Forsake everything that you got. If you don't forsake father, mother, sister, brother, daughter, wife, children in your own life also, you cannot be his disciple. He cannot instruct you, which goes back to the idolatry or you putting things before God. Now, I'm going to read you something from the Frankfurt School before I get back to the other thing. This is in the Frankfurt's, the 11-point plan of the Frankfurt School. Do you know what the 11-point plan of the Frankfurt School enumerates? Number 1 point, the creation of racism offenses. I had never heard of the Frankfurt School till today when Mr. Sharp had shared this information about this particular place. I heard of it, but I didn't know their tenets. Now, how long I've been telling y'all that they created racism to make you a victim and cause you to fight against other people while they exercise their power of manipulation to control a society? And is it undeniable that that is what we see out here every single solitary day? Well, let's look at point 2, continual change to create confusion. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep picking it up. I'm sorry. Continual change to create confusion. The teaching, point 3, the teaching of sex and homosexuality to children. Point 4, the undermining of schools and teachers' authority. Point 5, huge immigration to destroy identity. Point 6, the promotion of excess drinking. Point 7, the emptying of churches. Point 8, an unreliable legal system with bias against victims of crime. Point 9, dependency on the state or state benefits. Point 10, control and dumbing down of media. Point 11, encouraging the breakdown of family. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. One of the main ideas of the Frankfurt School was to exploit Sigmund Freud's idea of pansexualism. If you don't know what pansexualism is, a pansexual is someone who will have sex with anything, inanimate or animate. The search for pleasure. What did the Lord tell you to go on in the last days through Paul? That men would be seekers of pleasures and lovers of themselves. The exploitation of the differences between the sexes, the overthrowing of traditional relationships between men and women. To further their aims, they would attack the authority of the father, deny the specific roles of father and mother, and wrest away from families their rights as the primary educators of their children. How many times I done told you it's not the school's job to teach your offspring? That's your job. I'm talking about to teach them what you want them to know. I don't give a damn about math and science. That's who cares about that. But the mindset of the world that you want them to have, if you waiting on Mr. Charlie to do that, you's a goddamn fool. Listen what he said. Abolish differences in the education of boys and girls. You know why that's important? Because boys and girls don't learn the same. And anybody, you know, she's an educator. All of us been in school. See, the reason why I think there's something that's called the boys' crisis. You know what I'm talking about? And that type of stuff exists because the school system is literally set up to cause the failure of young boys. And it's to cause the failure of young boys because failing young boys and unconfident and insecure and low self-esteem boys become low self-esteem and unconfident men, which means they're men that are not properly prepared for the leadership of himself, the leadership of his wife, and the guidance and leadership of his children, and also probably more importantly than all, because you know a lot of dudes want to say your first ministry is your family. Man, he's not prepared to be a leader of men in his community. See, a lot of dudes, when you hear them say your first ministry is your family, that's men who don't want to be leaders of men in their community. That's their cop-out. That's their cop-out. That's not to say that you're not a ministry in your home, but we're talking about being a leader of men. That's your cop-out. You know why? Because he usually know that men ain't going to listen to him. I'm just being honest with you. Then it says, abolish all forms of male dominance. Hence the presence of women in armed forces. Declare women to be an oppressed class and men as oppressors. Now, how often do you hear people on the internet arguing that you fell for it, you got duped? You around here talking about a man oppressed you, a man ain't oppressed you a day in your life. You don't even know what oppression looked like. But they done made you think that men are savages and evil, and you just a small little victim. I literally heard a woman say about what's that chick, that Haley chick? I don't know. That's a funny looking broad too. I don't tell you no lie. You know what I'm talking about? The Little Mermaid chick. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know them people, but clearly they popular. Yeah. That's it. I guess she got pregnant by a dude. This woman tried to make it seem like women are victims because they have oxytocin and they bond to men and men take advantage of that. No, baby, she wanted some meat. But I'm saying this here because this teaches young men and young women that she's always a victim being oppressed by the big bad man who's taking advantage of her. Not that this was a willful participant in the own destruction of our life. So it creates a permanent victim, and you have a permanent enemy, man. That's a social construct. So when I say something against that, guess what it sounds like? He hates women. We are victims. Nah, you idiot. This man ran game on you, and you got caught, and you mad because I'm destroying the fantasy of the illusion of the victimhood that you would like to paint yourself in instead of saying I was stupid for a season. That's it. It ain't that hard. Guess what? I was stupid for many seasons. That's how I did 5 years in prison. Oh, I didn't read that part. Hold on. And it says, did I read that part?
Yeah, you'll be able to send me that too.
I got you. It said, and Munzenberg summed up the Frankfurt School's long-term operation. Thus, we will make the rest so corrupt that it stinks. My God, today. Now you hear that? This is literally what book is that? Oh, I'll send it to you, G. It's the 11-point plan of the Frankfurt School. Now, if you remember, Frankfurt is in Germany, and the Illuminati was created in Bavaria, which is not too far from Germany. Depending on who you talk to, it's in Germany. You know that the Illuminati was created in May 1st, 1776, and it was created again. Adam Westphal was the creator, and his intent was to destroy the scriptures without touching it. And what you just seen in that 11-point plan is a detailed and very precise plan in destroying the book of Yahuwah without touching it. You understand? Now, see, some people. Oh, it's way past them. Way past them. One of the things that the Illuminati's plan was, and see, I ain't talking about that Illuminati stuff. Talking about look at the throwing the hand signs. We ain't talking about that goofy stuff. If you think the Illuminati is entertainers, you just need to be quiet. It's way past that. These are men who are in high places whose objective was to place their compatriots in every area of importance in life for the purpose of manipulation of the society, of control and aims of their organization, to put, as I quote, in the protocols of the elders of Zion, to create a super government for the ability for you to worship their sovereign Lord, that being the devil. This is not a Jewish thing. This is not a white thing. This is an unjust and just thing. It always has been, always will be.
So would you say more like classism?
And it actually goes into that, and we have some of that to read if I can get to it. You know what I'm saying? Because classism is the easiest way to control the populace, as laid out by that. That's why when I was talking to people about the strike, and they mad with the longshoremen. You know why they mad with the longshoremen? Because you have allowed the upper class, let me not even say the upper class, the elite, the wealthiest of the wealthy, the string pullers and the directors of society. You have allowed them to escape the vitriol of the exploitation of society and blame the workers. Do you know how skilled of a manipulative deceiver that you have to be to cause the populace to be mad at the workers and not the people who are exploiting the workers? See, in this particular situation with the longshoremen, we discussed this the other day, them boys wanted a pay raise, but the pay raise was not why they were striking. They were because they've already came off. They agreed to the pay raise. They fighting automation. You know, some people, technology is imminent. You need to get with it. And somebody said, they maybe say, what side are you on? He told me, I ain't on no side. He don't even realize you've been manipulated, cuz. Because you saying that the worker should just get down or lay down and go along to get along. This nigga done came back. I ain't worried about him. Oh, you know he was coming. Paul, you know what I'm talking about? He probably coming right now. He said he a Milwaukee killer. Go ahead and block him, Marvin. Go ahead and get him out of here. We ain't got time to play with him. Go ahead and block him. If you ain't got a time to block him, I'll block him. Don't worry about it. I'll block him. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and send you on home, cuz. I'm gonna go ahead and send you on home. See, I'm gonna tell you something, right? And me and Emma were talking about this earlier when we read some of these parts. It definitely is, Mika. It definitely is. And it's Oh, he got him.
That boy there hard. You read that one? Really quick.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Listen. Nah, get focused. I don't care about him. You're not losing focus on this nigga. Bump him. Remain focused. The thing of the issue that a lot, like we just read, that a lot, especially on Clubhouse and Israelite spaces, is you have to get out of this man versus woman dichotomy. That is a social construct created by people who have way more power than you could ever imagine, that has you thinking that men are evil and women are bad. You have to remove that thought process, and you have to remove yourself from people who want to continually engage in that social construct. And you must destroy that social construct by pointing out that it is a social construct and you refuse to participate. You have, I'm telling you, this man versus woman stuff, that's not the reality of life. These people have convinced you of this, and you have accepted it, and you have perpetrated it in your lives, and you perpetrate it to your children, and you will continue the dichotomy of the destruction of a society and a generation if you can continue to perpetuate it. I'm telling you. Yeah, don't worry about him, man. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, man. That's why I've been telling y'all this type of stuff for years, man. These are social constructs. I'm not talking about women. I'm not talking about men. I'm talking about a social construct. You have to you got to ask yourself, where did you get these thoughts from? Where did you get these ideas from? Where did they come from? What's the genesis? Why did you accept it? Why did you believe it? Why did you repeat it? Were these things you witnessed in your life? Or were these things that people told you? How many times you done got on the internet and you hear people talking about, your grandma couldn't do nothing because your granddaddy was beating on him and he had a family across town. How many granddaddies really had a family across town? Not that many. That nigga ain't had no car. Was it granddaddies who had families across town? Sure it was. Of every race of people. But it wasn't like what you thinking. Were dudes beating on their wives? Sure they was. Was every man beating on his wife? No. Was every man financially exploiting his wife? No. They made you believe that all women were housewives, and if you go through United States history, women always were. They may have not could have held the positions that they hold now. Come on, we didn't talk about this before, man. Madam C.J. Walker was balling, man. She was a millionaire. Come on, man. You got to pay attention to that. These people are trying to create a dichotomy in your mind to keep you fighting so that you destroy yourself and they can continue to rule and dominate society. So the family keeps being destroyed. So the woman will never love her husband, and the husband will never love his wife, and the children will never see that bond. So therefore, they will go out and be sexual deviants and do like most people want to say, I ain't got no time for no man. Ain't no man's son nobody's son gonna be disappointing me and doing me this, that, there, and the third. Baby, you was already jaded. Oh, these women gonna do this, that, there, and the third, son. You already bought it. You're done. We can't continue to perpetuate that, and we know this is a societal construct for the purpose of manipulation for power. and to turn you from your God. Because that man say marriage is honorable and all, but whoremongers and adulterers, God gonna judge. You don't even realize they came up with the free sexual revolution because they were planning on hitting you off with AIDS. They wanted you to be as freaky as possible. Because they know the more freakier you are, the less inclined you'll be able to stick to one person. Man, these people know what they're doing. Oh, I know that's right, 10K. It seems like speaking against the word is always the next step after speaking against male authority and making all men seem evil. And that's the next step. I told Emma, right, when I was working at the what you call it, ale house, dropping word on some people out there, as I tended to do at that particular time in my life. And this woman told me I'd never submit to a man. And I looked her dead in the face and said, baby, you going to hell. And she said, why would you say that? Now, I'm going to tell y'all why I said that, right? Y'all know in 1 John, he said, how can you say you love your God whom you have not seen, but not your brother whom you've seen? I said, baby, if you won't submit to a man you've never seen, how you submit to a man you see? How you gonna submit to God and you ain't never seen him? And he made in his image, baby. I said, it ain't about the man, it's about the way that you think. That's why I said it. She didn't know what to do with that piece of information because she thought I was going to come from a carnal and gender type perspective. Now, baby, I'm talking about the way that you think. I don't care who you submit to. I ain't got to be with you. I don't care. I genuinely don't. I don't care what nobody do. Meaning, I'm not invested in the decision and choices that you make because I don't have to live with the outcome. That's what I mean by I don't care. I don't have to live with the outcome. You can do whatever you want. That's not going to have no bearing on my life. Because I'm only responsible for the choices and decisions that I make. I'm not responsible for your choices and decisions. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people believe that people care about that. Baby, I'll give you the information so, prayerfully you can make the best decision possible. But at the end of the day, you grown. You grown. And if you hate men, then baby, live your life and hate men. I don't hate women, baby. I ain't got that problem. You know what I'm saying? Now we feel like how JT Money felt, back in the days. You know how he felt, Civic? I hate hoes. And hoes hate me. You know what I'm talking about? Shalom, Amun. But you know what that means? That means you're dealing with a particular type of woman who thinks a particular type of way, who behaves a particular type of way, and I will not go for it, nor co-sign that type of behavior, nor promote it, nor indulge it. So of course she's gonna hate me. Because I don't hate her, I hate the way that you behave, and I want you to stay away from me. Because women or men who behave in a particular type of way, one thing they don't like for you to mention, that behavior is foul. They don't want to hear that. He said, also what our people I notice as well is the generational war conversation as well. Yeah. And get back to the other point. Classism. Poor war against the middle class war against the upper middle class war against the upper class, and the elite sit back and laugh because they're making money off of all of them. You'll have NFL players strike, and the people aside with the owners. How many times you've heard that these players are greedy? You're already getting paid millions. You've let a billionaire convince you that a millionaire who he's paying is the greedy one. While they trying to get them boys to play an 18th game and play games every day of the week with no concern for their physical welfare. Because they want that bread. And then people going to do whatever they got to do to get that bread. They don't care about you. Let me read the next part of this here, man. I am in the household model. Did I read that? I read that. I'm in the household model, or am I in the economic shock test? Let me just get to this point right here, right? Because it's a lot, and I may not be able to get all this here, right? I'm going to give you the short list of inputs. And if, well, dang, I can't really see it. People do want to be entertained, but them owners want money. Yeah. I don't even think some of them want to be entertained. I don't even think some of them care about football that much. Some of them do, like Jerry Jones do, because obviously he made a comment on the size of his players' genitals. You know what I'm talking about? You can look that up. He said it with Jamie Foxx Live. It was like, wow, man. He was wild. He wasn't tripping. He tell you how he felt. He like large black penis. That's what he was trying to tell you. Am I lying? I wish I was making that up, and I wish I was being funny, but I'm not, because he really said this. Jamie Foxx, like, I'm out of here, I'm done. Like he kept. You remember what Howard Stone said? He said, very ironic, the name of your foxhole. But I'm gonna leave that alone. This is the general sources of information: telephone taps, analysis of garbage, surveillance, behavior of children in school, standard of living by food, clothing, shelter, transportation. You'll be surprised that these people judge you by the food that you purchase. This is how they market to you. Social context: telephone, itemized record of calls, family, marriage certificates, birth certificates, friends, associates, memberships in organizations, political affiliation. The personal paper trail: personal buying habits, personal consumer preferences, checking accounts, credit card purchases, tag credit purchases, the credit card purchase of products bearing the UPC code, assets, checking and savings accounts, real estate, business, automobile, safety deposit, stock market, liabilities, editors, enemies, see legal, loans, consumer credit, government sources, welfare, Social Security, USDA surplus food, doles, grants, and subsidies, so on and so forth. But that's drilling and son. I want to get to the part where they tell you how your daddy pussy was. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm finna say it. Now they mentioned this is system analysis because I'm leaving out certain stuff. I've put Behold a Pale Horse in the group before I can put it again. Solid Weapons for Quiet Wars is in chapter 1. The Elders of Protocols of Zion are in chapter 15. I do.
Can you send it to me?
I can. System analysis. Well, hold on. I have to do this part. The artificial womb. I'm mentioning this because we were in a room yesterday, and a man said God made people gay. Now he said this because he was attempting to argue Romans 1 about him making you reprobate. But the man who did this is, to lack of a better term, is an ingrate. An ingrate is being kind. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even being funny. That's being kind. That's the gentleman who we had to block the other day. Emma say he's touched, and that's being kind. Because he's incompetent, to say the least. So, in doing so, a good brother of ours was like, hey, IOG don't teach this because this is who the brother's affiliated with. And when Emma was saying this, why do you feel the need to defend this organization? The organization didn't say it, he did. But when you look, I mention this because when you look at most people, and this is going to come up because we're about to read this artificial womb, most people are conditioned to defend the organization or to defend an individual. Blindly, I might add. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's the whole thing. So, Behold a Pale Horse, chapter 1, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I think I first read this book either when I was 21 or 22. Because I think by the time I got my hands on it, he was already dead. William Cooper was killed right after 9/11. They had been trying to catch him for 3 years because they hit him with tax evasion. William Cooper, for those of you who don't know, was a man who was in naval intelligence. So in naval intelligence, he ran across some information that startled him. Now, William Cooper, from what I can tell, was a man who believed in God, duty, honor, and country, which is the tenets of Notre Dame University, by the way. If you've never been around military people who think like that, like they wholeheartedly believe in all the tenets that the United States of America espouses. So when you take somebody like that and they find out that the reality that they thought was true is a bold-faced lie, it is very jarring for them. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much how he wrote this book. He didn't write this book like this is a conspiracy theories guide. He wrote the book in, I found this, and this. He has literal documents that you can write the Library of Congress and receive. You understand? Like there's a literal Senate hearing where they talk about making AIDS. They just don't call it AIDS by name. You know what I'm saying? And you can get it from them. I've seen documents that said that the United States government basically said, yeah, we created AIDS, but you can't prove it. So what? Yeah, this is public record. This is not something you can file under the Freedom of Information Act and write the Library of Congress in any declassified document, any Senate hearing, what you call it, when they record it. What's the proper word to call it? Transcripts. You can order it and get it. They'll send it to you. You can read it for yourself. Like you can order Rex 84, which was made in 1984 under Ronald Reagan, and it says that they can gather up the entire United States population in 12 hours.
What?
Yeah, you can look it up.
You said what?
Rex 84.
What you just said?
Rex 84 says they can gather up the entire United States population in 12 hours, put you in an internment camp.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
This is a literal federal document. This ain't nothing that somebody. This is not a conspiracy theory, nigga. This is on the books.
Yeah, that's why they against people like they trying to end it like with the red zone. Like they trying to have people in like metropolitan areas.
Yeah, they don't want you out in the. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's gonna make it easier to round you up.
Yeah.
This isn't FEMA stuff. Like this is none of this stuff that these are not conspiracy theories when it's on record. But see, the difference with me is I don't give a good goddamn. Because I got Yahuwah, so I ain't worried about FEMA. I ain't worried about no president. I ain't worried about no army. I don't care about none of them people. I can understand.
When I listen to certain people who talk like, oh, you need to make bug out bags. They're going to do this. You need to go buy some land and hide. And that, yeah, I think Yahuwah gave me the common sense and think for myself, and I just stop listening to it.
Nigga tell you go buy some land like they can't find it.
When it's on record.
Like they can't find it. Oh, we ain't gonna be able to find them out there in Baker County. Oh well.
You need to go.
Like, come on, man. Oh, I told y'all Israelites, you better prepare. It's gonna be a famine in the earth. Now look out on jackasses. They ain't talking about no famine no more. And guess what? That man said, I ain't never seen the righteous famished, and I ain't never seen the righteous forsaken begging for bread. They telling you prepare because they ain't righteous because they know God ain't gonna feed them. Man, I know you who are gonna feed me. So I ain't worried about it. How you gonna be in covenant with God and serve God and he gonna let you starve? What type of husband you taking for? You might not eat what you want to eat, but you ain't gonna starve them. Them boys wanted cucumbers, leeks, and melons. He gave them manna. That wasn't good enough for them. Because they don't believe in God. That's what I'm telling you, man. They don't really believe. When we talking about believe, we're not talking about believe like it is. Y'all know this. We talking about a moth, a Muna, and a Mon. We know that this man is steadfastly reliable in the things that he has promised. I can put it in the bank and know that check ain't gonna bounce. That's what we talking about. If he said it, then he gonna do it. Why would he tell me something he ain't gonna do? Unless he ain't real. And if he ain't real, then what is we doing it for? But like I told everybody earlier, I don't need to prove that Yahuwah exists because by the reason of Yada, I have experienced him myself, so I know he exists. I don't care if you think he exists or not. That's not my objective to convince you of anything. All I can do is give you the information and prayerfully you can experience him for yourself and let him convince you. I don't need to convince you. That's not my job. It's my job to persuade you to live righteously and upright according to the faith of Yahuwah. That's up to Yahuwah to let you experience him. That's not my job. See, a lot of people feel like they need to do God's job for him. I don't feel the need to do it. Because guess what? I ain't going to save you. You don't want to be saved. I'm going to let you go ahead and get on up out of here. You want to be a hoe, stay a hoe. You know what he said, let a hoe be a hoe? I ain't talking about no hoe about no woman. I'm talking about a hoe who worship idol gods, who open her feet to everybody that passed by and to his it war. That's what I'm talking about. You know, if you know the book, you know what I'm talking about. Let me read y'all this artificial womb, and we get back to this man riches, his poverty making you rich. See, we probably gonna lose some subscribers. I say get your funky behind on, nigga. You know why I say this here? Because this channel ain't monetized. So YouTube can't demonetize me because I ain't monetized. Yes.
Is that how we store riches treasures in heaven?
Again. You store riches in heaven by wisdom, understanding, and the truth. Read Proverbs 23 and 23:4. I didn't, and I appreciate you reminding me about that.
Say, buy the truth and sell not, wisdom and instruction and understanding.
So you need to take it and possess it. When you buy the truth and sell it not, also wisdom and understanding. Proverbs 8 and 10. Tavon, little Johnny just reminded me too, man. Drop that in the chat again, just in case I forget. You know I'm old.
Say, receive my instruction and not silver.
Receive my instruction and not what?
And not silver.
Remember, instruction is musar, and remember, discipline is instruction in a particular field. Discipline is not always about berating or physically accosting someone. I've told you plenty times. Chastisement without instruction is cruelty. Again, I say this again. Chastisement without instruction is cruelty. If you are seeking to chastise somebody, but you are not giving them the instruction, then you are just a sadistic individual. Period, point blank. And I don't care what nobody think or got to say about it, because life has taught me that. You don't always have to physically chastise somebody. The purpose of chastisement, again, musar is the word. The purpose of rebuke and chastisement is instruction. That means to teach. So get yourself together so you can teach when you correct instead of screaming, hollering, and whooping. That's not instruction. That's lack of emotional regulation. That's the inability to take the time to develop yourself so you can instruct your child in the way that you want them to go. So your only response is, I'm going to slap you up. Nigga, go get a therapist. You got a problem. Somebody beat on you and you passing that on. That's not how you instruct. You instruct by taking the time to deconstruct the improper behavior and showing them the correct behavior. Now, if they want to be purposely defiant, then there's consequences for your defiance. See, that's different. Consequences for defiance is not just, remember we talked about that, spirit of rod, spoil the child. Rod mean correction, man. You ain't got to beat him. What is you learning? What is this nigga learning from beating on him? What is he learning? Ask yourself that question. Discipline literally means to be able to teach somebody to learn something. What did he learn from getting whooped? He learned nothing. He didn't understand why his mindset was incorrect. He didn't understand why that behavior was detrimental to him. He didn't understand why he shouldn't select that particular behavior. All he knows, if he do this, I get hit. He learned nothing. And you don't even realize that's a social construct. How many times I told you we don't believe in no nigger raising? We don't believe in none of that. We don't purport that. We don't push that. Take the time to develop yourself and gain some wisdom and teach your child properly. So if not, son, we don't do that. What you mean, Daddy? This is what I mean, son. You can't do that. And this is why. Your God took the time to explain to you why he told you not to do certain laws, why it would be detrimental to you. So if he has the patience, the wherewithal, the love, and the care and the concern to give you that type of instruction, you should give it to your son. Now, if he get out of pocket after you've instructed him, and he's being willfully and wantonly defiant, then there's consequences for that. That's understandable. But if you haven't taught him, how you gonna beat this boy for something you ain't taught him? How you gonna whoop this boy for something you ain't taught him? He don't even know he wrong. He don't even know why he wrong. Because you letting your emotions dictate how you deal with this boy. That ain't cool. Oh, Emma said that PDF's 500 pages, so it might take some time to download that. Now I'm gonna text it straight to you, and then because that's how I keep mine. I just what you call it, pin mine stuff, whatever the hell you call it. Logistics. That's it. That's what they call it. Bookmark. Logistics. The successful application or strategy, a careful study of inputs and outputs. The strategy connecting the inputs and outputs and the available energy sources to fuel the strategy. The study is called logistics. A logistical problem is studied at the elementary level first, and then levels of greater complexity are studied as a synthesis of elementary factors. This means that a given system is analyzed, broken down into its subsystems. And in these in turn are analyzed until by this process, one arrives at the logistical atom, the individual. This is where the process of synthesis properly begins at the time of birth of the individual. The artificial womb. From the time a person leaves its mother's womb, its every effort is directed towards building, maintaining, and withdrawing into artificial wombs, various sorts of substitute protective devices or shells. The objective of these artificial wombs is to provide a stable environment for both stable and unstable activity, to provide shelter for the evolutionary process of growth and maturity, i.e. survival, to provide security for freedom, and to provide defensive protection for offensive activity. This is equally true of both general public and the elite. However, there is a definite difference in the way each of these classes go about the solutions of problems. The political structure of nation dependency. The primary reason of the individual citizens of a country to create a political structure is its subconscious wish or desire to perpetuate their own dependency relationship of childhood. And this goes back to the point of why you have grown men who want a woman to be their mama, and why you have grown women who want their man to be their daddy, because you want to go back to the dependency of childhood and abdicate yourself of all manner of responsibility, thoughts, cares, and concerns. But now what they have done in this is they have done this, and instead of you returning to the womb of your God and actually being dependent on him and relying on him, they taught you to do that with the government. That's how they've done that. That's why you scream, why hasn't the government did anything? Why hasn't the government did anything? Why hasn't the government did anything? They got money for the immigrants. Now they don't have money for the hurricane. See the protective wound? Who's going to protect us from this? Who's going to protect us from that? And you forget the fact that he says, you know, they help come from the hills. Our help come from Yahuwah. You understand? Hold on. Let me get that song. Hold on, sis. Yeah, man, that's how they, I mean, as we was reading it today, and of course, you know, I've been privy to this stuff, because Emma was like, you've been holding back. But I was like, I ain't had a reason to think on it, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't looked at it in a long time. That's it. Psalms 121. I appreciate you, good sir. Psalms 121 and 1. But I mean, but it causes you to see the reality of the society that we in. And that's why you've always noticed for years, I've always integrated that in, because I know what they're doing. And that's why we have to have the mind of Mashiach. We got to have the mind of God. We have to remove ourselves from this world. You cannot keep the same worldly thought processes and serve God at the same time. You're not going to be able to do it. I seen the tape on. You're not going to be able to do it. I'm talking about effectively. See, effectively, you say you want the Ruach HaKodesh. So you have to destroy the social construct, because the social construct of the West is diametrically opposed to the heavenly construct of Elohim. They can't work together. You can never know God and stay in this social construct. You'll never be able to do it. It's absolutely impossible. Because this social construct does not denote the love of God. It's going to denote the love of self. You're not going to be able to do it. Psalms 121 and 1. You can try to do it, but you're not going to succeed. I can say that unequivocally, emphatically, and without question or doubt. Because I know my God. I know it's not possible. That's why these dudes don't understand that you can live without sin, and they give so much pushback, because they want to do both. Like I told the dude, man, I say, bro, I've been out here in these streets, bro. Ain't nothing out here, cuz. Ain't nothing out here. I don't want to, and I ain't talking about the standard stuff that people want to say. I don't want to drink or get high. I didn't chase women before the word. So why would I get in the word and do it? I didn't do that before I was in the word. I wasn't a hoe before the word. So why would I get in the word and do it? That's retarded. You know what I'm saying? Just like I told my dog when I went to prison, I say, bro, I ain't doing nothing in prison. I ain't doing the street. So if I ain't eat ramen noodles on the street, I ain't eating them in here. You know what I'm saying? It took me lifting weights to start eating them because he was like, bro, that's how you going to get your calories to get your mass. Okay, this is for a purpose. Nigga like, yeah, man, I smoke cigarettes. I ain't smoking them on the street. I'm like, well, why the hell you smoking them in here? Oh, because you was a crackhead, nigga. You was on coke. You looking for a high. I'm like, because I smoke cigarettes on the street. So, ain't no different to me. Niggas come to jail and don't eat pork. I'm like, nigga, I stopped eating pork in 1996. Nigga, it's 2004. I remember this nigga, he got a life sentence. He told my niggas want to come to jail and read. Nigga, I've been reading all my life. I know you from the hood, cousin. Your people ain't give a damn about your mental cultivation, but I don't have that witness. It's not my life. Like, no, nigga, I'm not trying to impress you. Nigga, we're in jail. I can't impress nobody in jail. We're in jail. Do you know niggas go to jail and prison and try to impress other niggas? We are in jail, cuz. There's nothing impressive about anything we got going on. A nigga tell us when to go to the bathroom and to go to bed. Nigga tell you, get in the bed, I'm finna cut the lights off. Nigga, you can't impress nobody in here. You know what I'm talking about? Don't let these people tell you no lie, boy. You can't impress nobody. If you're impressed by a nigga in jail, boy, you need to. I'm sorry. You might need help Jesus can't give. He might not be able to help you. He might look at you and say, son, you're a lost cause. Just go ahead. Psalms 121:1.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence come my help. My help from Yahuwah, which made Shamahim and earth. He will not suffer your foot to be moved. He that keep you will not slumber.
He don't sleep.
Behold, he that keep Yasharal shall neither slumber nor sleep.
He don't sleep.
Yahuwah is your keeper. Yahuwah is your shade upon your right hand.
Talk to him.
The sun shall not smite you by day, nor the moon by night. Yahuwah shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. Yahuwah shall preserve your going out and you're coming in from this time forth.
You see how he say the sun and the moon won't smite you? Because in heaven and earth, it won't be no sun or no moon. When you're in New Jerusalem, you don't need that. Okay, they don't pick up on that. They got you telling you the heaven and earth is the temple. Talking about that's what the Hebrews thought. I don't give a damn what the Hebrews thought. That ain't what Yahuwah thought. You know, they get mad at me when I talk to some people. I don't care what the Hebrews thought. The Hebrews thought a lot of things and they was wrong. I need to know what Yahuwah thought. I don't care about the Hebraic thought. You know, I've always told you that. I ain't never cared about that. What the Hebrews thought, is the Hebrews the author? Are they the finisher? So I need to be concerned with what he thinks. I don't care what they think. Respectfully. Because you know preserve means to keep alive now. But catch it. Praise God. Come on. I'm in the political, what you say? Yeah. I'm in the political structure of a nation dependency. That's why I wanted you to hear that. Listen, the primary reason why the individual citizens of a country create a political structure is a subconscious wish or desire to perpetuate their own dependency relationship of childhood. Simply put, they want a human God to eliminate all risk from their life. Pat them on the head, kiss their bruises, put a chicken on every dinner table, clothe their bodies, tuck them into bed at night, and tell them that everything will be all right when they wake up in the morning. The public demand is incredible, so that the human God, the politician, meets incredibility with incredibility by promising the world and delivering nothing. So who is the bigger liar, the public or the Godfather? The public behavior is surrender born of fear, laziness, and expediency. It is the basis of the welfare state as a strategic weapon useful against a disgusting public. Action/offense. Most people want to be able to subdue and kill other human beings which disturb their daily lives, but they do not want to have to cope with the moral and religious issues what such an overt act on their part might raise. Therefore, they assign the dirty work to others, including their own children, so as to keep the blood off their own hands. They rave about the humane treatment of animals and then sit down to a delicious hamburger from a whitewashed slaughterhouse down the street and out of sight. But even more hypocritical, they pay taxes to finance a professional association of hitmen, collectively called politicians, and then complain about corruption in government. Responsibility. Again, most people want to be free to do things, to explore, etc., but they are afraid to fail. The fear of failure is manifested in irresponsibility, especially in delegating those personal responsibilities to others, where success is uncertain or carries possible or created liabilities, which the person is not prepared to accept. They want authority, root word author, but they will not accept responsibility or liability. So they hire politicians to face reality for them. Summary: the people hire politicians so that the people can obtain security without managing it, obtain action without thinking about it, inflict theft, injury, and death upon others without having to contemplate either life or death, avoid responsibility for their own intentions, to obtain the benefits of reality and science without exerting themselves in the discipline of facing or learning either of these things. Give the politicians the power to create and manage a war machine to provide for the survival for the nation womb, prevent encroachment of anything upon the nation womb, to destroy the enemy who threatens the nation womb, and destroy those citizens of their own country who do not conform for the sake or stability of the nation womb. And one of those instances that you experienced was during COVID, because people were willing for you to be destroyed, locked up, exiled, and fired from your job if you wouldn't put on a mask or be vaccinated because you were threatening the womb. See, this is societal manipulation. If you've ever heard the song that Lauryn Hill has called Social Drugs, she gives speaks about that in that particular record. It's all social manipulation for the sake of conforming. But see, you're supposed to be Romans 8:28, Civic. You're supposed to be doing this right here, though, if we talk about conforming.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Elohim, to them who are the called according to his purpose.
Come on with it.
For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate, conform to the image
See,
of his
you got
son.
people who will argue, ain't no such thing as predesignation, and the man telling you it is. What does predestinate in this Greek mean? See, I'm not finna argue with men who God taught himself. I think God would know what he gave this man in his instructions. Go ahead.
That's pro-rezo, that's to predeterminate, to decide beforehand.
He decided beforehand who he gonna make sons and daughters of God. And we know that from Psalms 139. All my members were written in the book before they were. I'm not going to argue that's Calvinism. I don't know who Calvin is. I know a Calvin. That's my nigga. He live in Tennessee right now. Talked to him about 3 weeks ago. I don't know no John Calvin, though. And I don't give a damn what he taught, teach, or thought. But the book say what it say. The book say what it say. And Kiki said, until this day, none of those jokers have apologized for the wrong they spewed towards other people who were right about that vaccine. And unfortunately, baby, they never will. They never will. Because it was never about being right or wrong. It was to protect the nation womb. It was the literal silent weapon for this quiet war that was executed to perfection. When I tell you from a tactical standpoint, I'm talking about from a tactical standpoint, the social manipulation that these people have done is absolutely brilliant. Now, see, one thing about the brilliance of their tactical exploits is they forgot about the greatest tactician in the history of tacticians, Yahuwah of hosts. And that he has a tactical plan to take them down that they couldn't even fathom. And matter of fact, he told them that the tactics that he was used to destroy them, and they believe it not. And in due time, they shall feel his wrath. And all the saints will be righteously vindicated. Have you read what I asked you to read? Could you read me Psalms 58:10? Since I said that, I just want all the saints to hear how you will be righteously vindicated. It's a foreshadowing to Revelation 14, but I like for you to hear it. Psalms 58 and 10. You can start there. Hell, make it 7. I don't care. I feel good.
Let them melt away as waters run continually.
Mm-hmm.
He bend his bow to shoot his arrows. Let them be as cut in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
As a snail which melt, let every one of them pass away. The untimely birth of a woman.
That man say, let all these wicked people die like a woman who had a miscarriage.
They may not see the sun.
Do you understand how serious? Do you understand? Let me tell y'all something, man. Unless you've been with a woman who experienced that, do you understand how detrimental it is for a woman to have a miscarriage, man? You understand how serious that is, man? Do you understand what that do to her mind? See, it bother a man, but it don't bother you the same way that it's gonna bother her. You know what I'm saying? That junk hit different. A lot of dudes don't understand that. That's a whole totally different scenario. And that man say he want the wicked to be like that baby. I want to cut you off before you come to full term and you die, nigga. Go ahead.
Says a snail, let every one of them pass away like the untimely birth.
You already know him.
They may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in wrath.
Look at man. He said he taking them away while they're alive. Play with it.
The righteous shall rejoice when you see the vengeance.
The righteous shall rejoice when they see the vengeance.
He shall wash his feet in the blood
and you're going to wash their feet in the blood of the wicked so that the righteous might know truly there's a reward. Boy, it's a reward for serving God. You're going to wash your feet in Kamala blood, nigga. You're going to wash your feet in Donald Trump blood, nigga. And Jay-Z blood and Puffy blood. I don't give a damn about none of them. Give a damn because this nigga make a record you like. Gonna wash your feet. I'm just mentioning them because you know these people. It's other wicked people. You might wash your feet in your daddy blood, boy. You might wash your feet in your mama blood, boy. You might wash your feet in your children's blood. Yeah, it's that serious, man. Because your loyalty got to be to Yahuwah. I remember I told y'all a long time ago. I told you a long time ago, dude asked me, how would you feel if God sent your mama to hell? This is like 2012. I say, well, shoot, that's on her. I say, you want me to be mad at God because my mama made a conscious decision to go against him and suffer the consequences thereof? I say, nigga, you don't know my mama, so you don't know how she raised me, because she raised me to accept the responsibility for the consequences of your actions. And she said, baby, ain't nobody responsible for what you do other than you. And if you know you make a decision to do something, you got to be willing to take what come along with that. So I say, yeah, you might have tried that with another nigga, because I'm not emotionally attached to my mom. She didn't raise me that way. She didn't teach us to do that. So try again, nigga. Yeah, he didn't want to hear that. He left me alone after that. He said it's the boosters that are the no limit. He said, I heard it. Yeah, shoot. Hey, man, look here. I don't take vaccines anyway because I don't like needles. Because they're stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody want the mark of the beast to be everything but what the book say. The vaccine's the mark of the beast. Nigga, see, you can't pass here, you're going to have your job at the mark of the beast. Shut up. Because where the beast at for the mark? You need the beast before you get the mark. I just said that to be funny. But in seriousness, the mark of the beast is a covenant. See, you can read in Exodus chapter 13 where he told you to put a mark in your right hand and in your forehead that you remember the day that he brought you up out of Egypt. Get it for him, man. I ain't gonna tell you, because I know everybody don't want to hear that. The mark of the beast ain't nowhere close because you need the beast. I was talking about this earlier. I told y'all this before. When it come down to it, it's not gonna be Israelite. They're not gonna hate you because you're an Israelite. You can't find a single solitary person from Genesis to Malachi, Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, the Acts of the Apostles, or any epistle letter, or even in the book of Revelation, anybody that was persecuted solely because they were Israelite. You won't find it. So the Serena tribe didn't have a problem with you because you were an Israelite. He wanted to have rule over the land. It had nothing to do with your nationality. Nebuchadnezzar had no problem with you because you were an Israelite. He didn't care. Racism is a social construct of modern times for the purpose of exploitation and division. Any man who was persecuted in this book, they were persecuted because of their loyalty to Yahuwah. When Jonah was on that boat, they said, hey, man, who you is, man? You need to pray to your God. That's literally what it says. He said, man, you need to pray to your God. He said, man, I'm a Hebrew, man. What you talking about? Was Joseph persecuted because he was an Israelite? No, his own brothers did that to him. When the Israelites delivered up Samson to the Philistines, they brought him to the Philistines because they say, Samson been troubling us. Bring him to us. It wasn't because he was an Israelite. Haman and Esther, the 3rd chapter and the 8th verse say, it don't suffer you to suffer these people. Their laws are diverse than everybody else is in the kingdom. And they don't keep the king's laws. That's what it say. The Lord didn't say you'll be persecuted because you were Israelite. He said you'll be hated by all nations for what? My name's sake. These niggas be lying to you. Ain't nobody finna come kill you because you were Israelite. The people don't give a damn. But I've been telling you that for years. But these boys ain't gonna tell you that. You can't read it nowhere. And guess what? Every prophet in the book wasn't even persecuted by a Gentile. He was persecuted by a nigga who looked like him. But they ain't gonna tell you that though. Now, no, I know you ain't over there acting no fool. Who that is over there? That's no. Boy, no, I know you ain't over there acting no fool. Yeah, he faking. He know I know I be faking too, boy. I know about you, boy. You capped out. That's right, Kiki. Absolutely. Can't do nothing but put your life in God's hand. It's better. What David said. It's better for me to fall into the hands of Yahuwah than into the hands of man. At least if you fall into the hands of Yahuwah, you know you got a greater chance of mercy, grace, and long suffering. Fall in the hands of man, you don't know what you're going to get. Always seek to fall in the hands of Yahuwah. Put your mind, heart, and soul in his hand. Don't put your life and soul in man's hand. Man going to exploit you. When he know he got that type of leverage over you, he going to try to use that to his advantage. Yeah. Don't go for that. Come on with it. Where we at with you?
Exodus 13.
13 and what did it about 6, man? Man, you know, just find a version and call it out. I want to say about 5 or 6.
You talking about where it's mentioned is that farther down.
No, come on.
What's mentioned in the being a token.
Mm-hmm.
That's verse 16.
Exodus 13 and 16. Let it go.
It's saying this shall be for a token upon your
hand. You gotta back it up. You gotta give him full disclosure. Tell me what 13 say. Okay. Exodus 13 and 13. Tell me what
saying. Every firstling of an ass you shall redeem with the lamb, and if you will not redeem it, then you shall break his neck. All the firstborn of man among your children shall you redeem. And it shall be
the firstborn of what you should who?
Of man among your children shall you redeem.
See, a lot of people don't pay attention to this particular part. He said, every firstborn among man you must redeem. We're going to get back to Romans 8 by conform to his image, right? Because what you're supposed to be conforming to, not to society. You understand? So when you see him see how he redeemed the firstborn, and you can let me read Hebrews 12. Hold on. Y'all know what I'm finna read. Maybe you don't. I don't know. You'll figure it out. Hebrews 12 and 24. I'm sorry, 23. To the general assembly and the assembly of the firstborn, which are written in heaven, and the Elohim, judge of all, and the Ruachs of just men made perfect, to Yahushua, the mediator of the new covenant, and the blood of sprinkling that speak better things than Abel. Because remember, it said Abel's blood did what? It cried out to God, and he heard it. He said the blood that Mashiach spilled was greater than that blood. But he said, every man who's born of the Son of God, you are firstborn. You've been redeemed. That's how he redeemed you from the power of the grave. That's why he said there's neither man nor female, Yahudim nor Greek, bond nor free, but you all in one. You know why? Male and female created he them. That's why we say that, because the woman came out of Adam. Man came from God. There's no difference. You a son, you a daughter. Everybody get the same inheritance. Everybody. These boys ain't got that type of understanding to pick up on that game. You dig? That's what these niggas don't understand. The first covenant couldn't redeem you. You broke it, dummy. So he got to buy you. That's why he told you in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and no man shall redeem you. They think it's buying, it's talking about slaves. You stupid. Ain't nobody gonna be able to pay for you, boy. God got to do it. I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why niggas say we ain't in a new covenant because they don't want to believe that God paid for them. Because if you paid for them, then you own it. But you don't own it by the works of the law. You own it by believing and obeying. And they don't believe. So that's why they want him to be, that's why they want to be old, because I don't eat pork. It's easier that way. I ain't got to trust God. Wicked bastards, you're going to hell. Come on with it, man.
And it shall be when your son asks you in time to come, saying,
See, when your son asks you, what this mean?
That you shall say unto him, by strength of hand, Yahuwah brought us out from
By
Egypt.
what of hand?
By strength of
It's
hand.
the power of God brought us up out of it. Remember what I told you the other day when we asked that lady, was the children of Israel saved by the law or by faith? She was stuck. But baby, you've been in the word for years. You should have been able to ask. But you know why she didn't want to answer that question? Because the whole theology is gone. Because if you saved by faith, you can't be preaching. You saved by the law no more. Shut your funky behind mouth, ho. And when I say ho, I mean it in the most disrespectful fashion. I have no respect, care, nor regard for that disrespectful, rotten, no good woman. She's disrespectfully rude. And I mean that. Come on, man.
By strength of hand, Yahuwah brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to
From
pass.
the house of what?
From the house of bondage.
Guess what? And he said what? And the truth shall set you free. He that commits sin is the what? And if the son shall make you free, you shall be what? Because the servant abide not in the house, but the son abide for what? See, that man came to show you how he was going to come save you from the bondage of sin later. Because we know what we is. We free among the dead. No taxes, no debts, no obligations. And it was absolutely nothing the children of Israel did to get up out of that situation. He did it. Because by grace you are what? Saved and not of works, lest any man could boast. It wasn't a single solitary Israelite that could boast that they delivered themselves out of Egypt. They had to give the praise and esteem to Yahuwah. But boy, them boys ain't on that type of game to pick up on that, man. Because they don't believe the word. Go ahead, man.
And it came to pass when Pharaoh will hardly let us go, that Yahuwah slew all the firstborn in the land.
He said it would hardly let us go. Guess what? Death wouldn't hardly let you go, but it wasn't possible it could hold Mashiach go, was it? And guess what? Because death let him go, he looked at death and told him, let him go. You know the dude told us one day, he said, because you died, that show you a sinner, I ought to kick you in your butthole. That don't mean you a sinner because you die. Everybody gonna die. But if you left here with the Ruach HaKodesh, you're gonna live forever. Let that be known. Praise be to Yahuwah. Come on with it.
And it came to pass when Pharaoh will hardly let us go, that Yahuwah slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast.
That's right.
Therefore I sacrifice to Yahuwah all that open the matrix, being males. But all the firstborn of my children are redeemed. And it shall be for a token upon your hand.
And upon your where?
For frontlets between your eyes.
You see how he said that this is a token, that the deliverance from Egypt through the Passover lamb is a token. Tell them what a token is. It's oath, but either way, y'all finna see.
It's oath, a sign, a signal, a distinguishing mark.
A distinguishing mark. This is a sign of a covenant or sign of ownership. So when you have the Ruach HaKodesh, that's a sign that Mashiach delivered you from the house of bondage, which is sin. So when we come over here to Revelation 13 and 9, this mark of the beast, matter of fact, before we even do that, let me not even do that because we're going to have to do it all the way in. We're going to have to go to Daniel 11 and 31. We're going to have to go to Daniel 11 and 31. I would be remiss if I did not do that. Daniel 11:31. Listen to it. See if it read it.
An arm shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily, and they shall place the abomination that make desolate.
Go ahead.
And such as do wickedly against the covenant.
Such as do what?
Wickedly against the covenant.
What he gonna do?
Shall he corrupt by flatteries.
What else?
So the people that do know their Elohim shall be strong and do.
Go ahead.
And they that understand among the people.
I got you in the wrong verse. It's verse 30.
For the ships of Chittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved in return, and have indignation against the Kadash covenant.
He will have hatred against the set apart covenant.
So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake.
He will have what with him? Intelligence with those who forsake the what?
Kadash covenant.
Intelligence with those who forsake the what?
Kadash covenant.
Now tell him what, finish the verse and then tell him what intelligence means.
That's the end of that verse.
Tell him what intelligence means. This is an Aramaic word, by the way.
That's to discern, to understand, and consider. To teach, to instruct.
He's going to and teach them who go against the covenant. Now, the aspect of people say, oh, the deadly wound, that's the Catholic Church. No, that beast literally taking a deadly wound. He gonna die and resurrect from the dead because he wants you to believe that he is Yahushua HaMashiach. See, it's easier to say it's Rome is this than to believe that the very thing that you're supposed to believe in the witness of the Son of God, he gonna manifest that in real life with man and see if you gonna go with what the word say or what this wicked nigga did. Because guess what? The man say he gonna rule for how long, Cindy? 3.5 years. If you take 3.5 years, if you know how that works, in the 6th month is the end of the year, and guess what time that is? That's tabernacle time. So it makes sense that this man gonna start his rule in the beginning of the years around. Again, you cannot deceive the people of God if you are far away from the word. He has to closely mirror the word in order to deceive you. So when unleavened bread come around, you're gonna see a wicked nigga get killed, and everybody gonna see him resurrect from the dead, and they gonna say that's the one. That's the Jesus. And 98% of these Hebrew Israelite niggas is gonna tell you to follow this nigga. And he ain't gonna be a white man. He gonna be an Edomite who look just like you. You know why? Because he told you when you break the shackles off your brother's neck, then you gonna rule by your sword. That's why we read that Ezekiel 35 a couple weeks ago. Because Esau forsook his birthright. So the righteousness of Yahuwah is, I'm gonna let this wicked nigga get his birthright for 3.5 years to rule, and then I'm gonna kill him. That's why he coming back through Edom in Isaiah 61 and Isaiah 63. That's why Edom talked about, but the niggas don't pay attention to none of that. The nigga literally forsook his birthright for a bowl of beans. He said, you ain't got a blessing for me, daddy? He said, hell no, I ain't got one for you, nigga. Your brother already got it. Just gonna get it for him, man. Man, look here, man, that's what I'm telling you. Niggas might not agree with what I got to say. I don't give a damn, but you don't want these problem, cuz. Well, I will mash and crash you niggas. And luckily for you, I'm not in that line of work. I'm not in that line of work. I just sell dope. The dope of hope. The hope of Yahushua HaMashiach. The everlasting life that come with it. I'd rather sell work than battle with a nigga about how my work better than his. That's a waste of time. I already knew my work was better than yours when I got here. You know why? Because I know who I get it from. You know what I'm saying? It ain't because I'm so great. I know who gave it to me. I know he great. I know he ain't gonna put no bad work on the street. See, when you got a real, I mean, we talking about real life now. When you got a real plug with a product, whatever that product may be, and you know that he giving you quality stuff, you ain't got to worry about proving it because you already know he ain't gonna give me no bad garments. He not gonna give me no poor quality of lamb, of beef. He not gonna do that. He ain't gonna give me, you know what I'm saying, a poor quality automobile. I know what he gonna give me because I know who I'm dealing with. Because if I didn't think I was gonna get quality, I wouldn't be doing business with him in the first place. So we already know you who will give quality. That's why we do business with him. Who gonna give you better work than him? Go ahead, man. Hold on. He said death is the ultimate enemy. I was thinking about that earlier growing up playing video games. Death and sin is like the final boss. Yeah. And he whooped him. Yeah. Death is the final boss, and the Lord whooped him. He ain't even stand a chance. He said, I've overcome the world, baby. Don't be sad. Chin up, nigga. Chest out. Stand up straight. That's why I always told you, that's why we don't wear fringes. We don't need to look down. We look up. I don't need to look down to remember to not go after my own heart. All I got to do is look up. We just seen that. He said, we look to the hill. That's where our help come from. What I'm looking down for. Come on, man. What I got you?
25?
Yeah, Genesis 27. Give me about verse 39. What time it is? I got time. You niggas probably late for you guys. You all right. You tough.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of Shamayim from above.
This is what he giving Jacob now.
And by his sword shall you live.
Oh, no, this is Esau. So if I said 39, give me 37.
And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him your lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto you, my
He
son?
said, what am I going to do for you?
And Esau said unto his father, Have you but one blessing, my father?
You got a blessing for me?
Baruch me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
He said, guess what? And what Hebrews told you. He said, man, though he wept carefully with tears, there was no space of repentance found for him. You take them crocodile tears to another nigga. You had the right of the firstborn, and you said a bowl of beans was better. He said, what good is this birthright to me, seeing that I'm finna die? Because you had indignation against the covenant. See, a lot of people got indignation against the covenant. They'll sell out their birthright for a piece of vagina, for a fancy car, to not be killed, to not go to jail. Some niggas will sell their birthright out for a pair of sneakers. You know what most of them will sell their birthright out for? Wait for it. The praise of men. Sure will. And then when God coming to cut your head off your shoulders, you maggot bastard, now you gonna want to cry. Don't cry to me, nigga. Come on with it.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of Shamaim from above.
From above.
And by your sword shall you live.
By your sword you shall what?
Shall live, and shall serve your brother. It shall come to pass when you shall have the dominion that you shall break his yoke from off your neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith.
And Esau did what?
Hated Jacob
because of what?
The blessing with his father Baruch him.
Paul, he hated Jacob for the birthright of the firstborn. See how that goes back to the children of the promise, persecuted by the children of the flesh as it is this day. See, he didn't hate Jacob because it was Jacob. He hated Jacob because of Yahuwah. Because it literally said because of the blessing. Esau's hatred for the Israelites is not because of blood. It's because God is with you and not with him. But it's not Jacob's fault. It's your fault. You rejected God. You didn't want the birthright. You didn't want the covenant. So when you see how he talk about he gonna behead people, and you read in Ezekiel 35 when he say for this perpetual hatred that you had for your brother and that you chase blood and you haven't hated blood. Because I've told you this before. If you believe that black people are the Israelites, then a white man can't be the man of sin, because why would a bunch of black people follow white men? But you know why a lot of them want to tell you it's a white man? Because they worship Mr. Charlie and they soul. Mr. Charlie is their God. Some of these dudes, and I mean this not to be vulgar, some of these dudes will perform fellatio on Mr. Charlie if they could. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I am definitely serious. A lot of these men would pleasure these white men in unspeakable ways if there was a way for them to get the level of prestige that they perceive that they have. Why do you think Puppy was willing to let these white men perform all these sexual deviant acts on him and other black men in high status places, at least in our society, that they're willing to participate in all manner of sexual degeneracy? You know what I'm saying? Just for the opportunity to say they could sit at Mr. Charlie's table. Because they worship Mr. Charlie. They desire to be Mr. Charlie. And that's why I say that if any of these Israelites had power and rule, I'd go to another country. You don't hear me talking about going to another country, living in America. But boy, I promise to you, if there was a city where Israelites in this day and time rose to power to rule that city, I would move. Why you think I won't go live on none of these compounds with none of these niggas? Nigga, you ain't no different than Mr. Charlie who you talk about. I wouldn't be ruled over by none of you wicked niggas. I ain't saying that to be, see, you hate your own people. Nah, I ain't stupid. You put a man who ain't been made righteous in a position of authority and he'll exploit and destroy everybody in his path. I told y'all this before. I said this earlier today. Money don't change people, but power corrupts. And when you deal with people who are not accustomed to power, it will corrupt them and they will run roughshod and exploit and destroy everyone in their path. Because the only thing that they're going to be concerned with is maintaining and holding on to that power. Because especially when you deal with somebody who's been powerless and he get a taste.
That's the whole story with Hazel.
That's absolutely. My God today.
You know, I wish I was crying because he saw the future where he was going to go once he came into power.
Once he came into power, he was like, that's going to be me. I'm telling you, man, Money don't change people. Power do. Power do. Why you think some of these Israelite organizations, he was like, man, bro, wasn't like that when he started. He got a little bit of power. Y'all went to breaking bread. Y'all ain't question what he said. See, I ain't even talking about no doctrine stuff. I'm talking about, man, these niggas be ruling over people with rigor. And they love it. But that's them, man. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Come on, what we need to go back? Where you at? Yeah, read me finish Romans 8 at 28, then we'll go to Revelation 13. Let me go ahead and knock that out. And then we get to this pride of life and we get ready to wrap this up. We had 2.5 hours. It's 11:24.
Saying we know that all things work together for good to them that love Elohim, to them who are the called according to his purpose. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate. That's right. Conform to the image of his son. That
conform to the image of his who?
Of his son.
That's all you need to be conformed to. Remember what he said in Romans 12? Don't be conformed to what? Get it for him. They ain't say it fast enough. Romans 12:1.
Conform to the world. That's
it. Shoot, it's too late now. I threw it out there. Y'all left me with dead air. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that with TV time, have dead air. Romans 12:1.
Say, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Elohim, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, Kadash, acceptable unto Elohim, your reasonable service, and be not conformed to this world, but be.
Pause. That's what we ain't even got to the elders or protocols of Zion yet. We ain't got it's because it's a lot to read and we got mixed wording. You who are willing though, we got two services tomorrow. I think we got through the protocol 6. But I think I need to read to y'all protocol 3 and 4. So you who are willing daytime service tomorrow, I'm gonna read protocol 3. And y'all willing the nighttime, I'll at least get to protocol 4. But this part of silent weapons for quiet wars, though, we're gonna finish that tonight. Because I want you to understand how they have manipulated the thought process of men and women. And it's literally going to say things that I've said to you numerous times, especially about how you do your daughter, or how she grows up and thinks what a man is supposed to do. Because a lot of them are raised, like you hear these people talking about princess treatment. Man, your daddy ain't no king. Princess where? And when I say, because you come from a line of hoe. It's different if you come from a line of ladies. I'm talking about ladies. Do you know? I'm talking about ladies. I'm talking about real ladies. Like how many? I'm talking about real ladies. I'm talking about mama's a lady, grandma's a lady, great grandma's a lady, aunties are ladies. It's not very many young women in this particular society, irregardless of race, who come from a line of ladies. That's different. We love ladies. Ladies are great. Hope for men, real men, I'm talking about genuine, masculine, assertive leadership type of men. We don't love hoe niggas. They bust us. Care nothing about them. They destructive. Like this is serious. This is not about the aspects of gender warring. This is about a certain type of behavior. We're dealing with behavior and mindsets. How you gonna love a man or woman who's destructive in their mindset simply because of their gender? You should love all women. No, I shouldn't. You should love all men. No, you shouldn't. No, you should not. Because that's how you give your love to the wrong type of man and he destroy you. And when I say destroy you, I'm not talking about just destroy you individually. I'm talking about destroy your community. Destroy the ecosystem. You don't breed with a low-hanging fruit. What is he gonna give your son? What is he gonna give him? How to shoot a gun? But not shoot a gun for the aspects of knowing how to defend himself and his family, but to be a nigga in the street. Do you know how many young girls get taught how to be sexual acts by their mamas? Do you know how many women get told that their vagina is this, that, there, and the third? This is what they telling little girls. Like this is real life. This ain't nothing nobody's making up. This is real life. This is people who really get raised like this. And you got kids and you want your kids to mate with them? Better train them. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with it, man.
Be not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Elohim.
That's good. Now come on over there to Revelation 13. Once he finished reading this Revelation 13 with that mark of the beast, I'm gonna finish this doggone nation wound part, and then we get to the pride of life and we out of here. Come on with it, G. You probably want to be about verse 11.
Then I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a serpent. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
You have to realize that this beast here is playing the role of John the Baptist. But he's doing it in the reverse, because he's not paving the way and telling you to believe on him who come after me, whose shoe latchet I'm not worthy to loose. He's coming afterwards trying to validate what happened to this particular person and that you should worship them. Because remember, Satan only wants to copy Yahuwah. So guess what he's doing? At the mouth of two witnesses or three witnesses, it's a matter established. You got to peep the game. Go ahead.
And he do great wonders, so that he make fire come down from Shaman.
And remember what Deuteronomy 13 tell you. I don't care if that sign of wonder come to pass or that dreamer of dreams. You better not hearken to them. Yahuwah approved you to see if you love him or not. Go ahead.
So that he make fire come down from Shahim on the earth in the sight of men, and deceive them that dwell on the earth by those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak.
Pause, because Mika, you might not be. You see how he say he got power to give image to the beast to speak? Now, see, a lot of brothers ain't adept in the word, but y'all know what psalm is it? You remember what psalm it is? What psalm is it?
Psalms 114 or 116.
Psalms 116 and 1 said it. Run it.
I love Yahuwah because he hath heard my voice and my supplications.
Oh, no. That's it. You got to make sure you're right. 115. I'm back. My bad. Psalms 115 and 1. Listen to it.
Not unto us, O Yahuwah, not unto us.
But unto your what?
Name give esteem.
For what?
Your mercy.
And for your
truth sake.
Praise God.
Wherefore should the heathen say,
where now?
Their Elohim.
But our Elohim,
and Shamahim,
he have done
whatsoever he have pleased.
Their idols,
silver and gold.
Their idols,
silver and gold.
And the work
of men's hands.
They have mouths.
But they speak not.
They have mouths.
But they speak not.
They have mouths.
But they speak not.
And they have eyes.
But they see not.
And they have ears.
But they hear not.
And they have noses.
But they smell not.
They have hands.
But they handle not.
They have feet.
But they walk not.
Neither speak.
They through their throat.
They that make them
are like unto them.
So is everyone
that trust in them.
Oh, Yasharal.
Trust you in your Yahuwah.
For he's your what?
Their health and their shield.
Now, why is that important? Why we read that? That wicked nigga gonna go to that verse and say, "See, this ain't no idol, because it's alive. It talk and speak." Read Revelation 13 one more time, and I'm gonna read Psalms 115 one more time. Call out the verse for him, good sir.
Verse 15.
Revelation 13 and 15.
And he had power to give life unto the image.
He got power to give life unto the what?
Unto the beast.
And what else?
That the image of the beast should both speak.
And what?
And cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So he gonna give life to these. Notice that he said they would live and speak, right? Mm-hmm. Now Psalms 115 says they have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Noses have they, but they smell not. They have hands, but they handle not. Feet have they, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throat. You see, when he make that idol like that, he can take it to the word. Because see, Daniel 8 and 28 says he will have understanding of dark sentences. You also heard that he said he'll have intelligence with the people who forsake the Kadash covenant. He gonna teach them. So he gonna open up the book. This is one thing that people forget about Esau. He's still the son of Abraham and Isaac. He still was taught by Yahuwah. He still got a connection to that covenant, even though he forsook it. They don't like to talk about that. They don't like to talk about that. That's how you know when it said in Daniel, he'll forsake the God of his fathers, whom they knew not. That means this has to be a man of a genealogy who knew Yahuwah. And it's only one person in the book outside of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob who got that witness, and that's Esau. So when this man calls this doggone idol to start living and talking, he gonna take you. See, no, it's not a sin. See, he said the idols don't talk, but this one talk. Because it's all Deuteronomy 13:3, man. Run it.
You shall not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahuwah Elohim.
We're going to give him verse 1.
If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto you, saying, let us go after other gods.
Let us go after what?
Other gods.
Let us go after what?
Other gods.
What the beast going to be asking you to do? Go after another God.
But you have not known, and let us serve them.
That you have not what?
Known.
Don't know this nigga over here. We only know Yahuwah. What did he say not to do?
You shall not hearken unto the words of that prophet.
You better not listen to him.
Or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahuwah Elohim prove you to know whether you love Yahuwah Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul.
You gotta pay attention to it. It ain't what, man, a lot of people gonna be looking for something that ain't gonna come and they gonna worship the devil. Go back to Revelation 13 for that more. Now, see, if we was to go in a room full of Israelites right now and say all this here, they'll argue us down and fight us all day and night. But remember, we talking about the secrets. Remember, we started with that? Hidden things. They all gonna fight. Guess what? That man told you the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. That means all these niggas ain't got no pack. They ain't got no pack. See, they doing it their way. We got to do it Yahuwah's way. Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Revelation 13-16.
And he calls all, both small and great,
small and great, rich
free
and
and
poor,
bond,
free and bond,
marked in their right hand or in their foreheads.
See that? That's the same thing the law said, didn't it? Because he's trying to copy God. This ain't about no microchip. This ain't about no vaccine. It's about actually, are you going to be in covenant with Yahuwah, or are you going to be in covenant with the devil? I mean, it's nothing wrong with it because it's plausible. That's not to say that they won't ask people or try to, what's the word I'm looking for? Coerce people into being microchipped. But you got to understand something. He said, if you take the mark of the beast, ain't no forgiveness for you. Ain't no forgiveness. You're not going to be condemned. You got a microchip and you buying chips with it. But once you've done what Esau did and forsook your birthright, you're done. Because, see, that's more of a fantastical, great story to tell. You get this microchip, you buy this stuff, Satan's going to control you. Nah, nigga, you're going to make a conscious decision to serve the devil and say, I'm going to enter in covenant with you and forsake you. That's what it's about. That's what it's always been about. But nobody wants to talk about that. It's not just good against evil. It's what's the first commandment out the 10? No, out the 10. Have no other gods before me. That's what it's about. Do you believe my word and trust in me enough to know that this nigga is not me and he lying? And no matter what he do, that you will hold fast to my promise, even unto the death. That's what it's about. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to have you thinking, your mama black. That's why they're going to kill you. Everything, the New World Order, we don't care about no New World Order. Care nothing about that. I ain't scared of that. I ain't scared of nothing. That man say after they kill you, what more power they going to do to you? He said, I'll tell you who to fear. Him who can cast soul and body into hell. I say fear him. I don't care nothing about it. He said, let Yahuwah be your fear and your dread. Stop worrying about it. You don't never hear me talk about none of these people got going on. Because I don't give a London damn what these people got going on. I don't care what they got going on. They ain't got no problem with me. That's sinner problems. Remember, he said the hypocrites in Zion are afraid. Filthiness is taking hold of the sinners. Who gonna dwell amongst the everlasting burners? Because they know they're going to hell. We don't have them concerns. That's why we don't discuss it. We ain't worried about going to hell. We ain't worried about going to the valley of Hinnom. We ain't worried about that. That's none of our concern. Because we ain't sinners over here. Now, I'm going to say that because I don't know what none of y'all do, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Ain't no sinners in here. So why are we concerned with that? We're not discussing that. Discuss that for what? Remember, he said, man, we persuaded the better things than you, the things that pertain to salvation. Thus we speak. He said, those of us who are promised look for a new heaven, a new earth where dwell righteousness. That's what type of time we on. I'm not going to be sitting around here talking about no law condemning people all day and all night. For what? Man, we got promises we laboring towards, man. Brother Nate say he ain't recalled that in a long time. So let's do this here for him. Isaiah 33 and 14.
In Zion are afraid.
They're afraid.
Fearfulness have surprised the hypocrites.
Fearfulness has surprised
Fire.
with the devouring fire.
Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burnings?
What else?
He that walk righteously and speak.
Listen.
He that despised the gain of oppression.
Listen.
That shake his hands from holding of bribes.
Listen.
That stop his ears from hearing of blood.
Listen.
That shut his eyes from seeing evil.
Listen.
He shall dwell on high. His place of defense, the munitions of rocks.
You see how beautiful that is? But those that's notice that he ain't say nothing about no law. Run that back up what this man said. Let me just piece it out one more time. What do you say? He that do what?
He that walk righteously.
Those that walk righteously in the righteousness of faith. What else?
And speak uprightly.
And you speak that which is correct.
He that despised the gain of oppression.
You don't take money from the gain of oppressing people violently.
That shake his hands from holding of bribes.
I don't want your money. You won't bribe me to judge unrighteously.
That stop his ears from hearing of blood.
I'm not going to participate in you shedding innocent blood.
And shut his eyes from seeing evil.
And matter of fact, my eyes are too. You know why he say shut his eyes from doing evil? Because he say I came to bring forth judgment. That those that were blind should be made to give sight, and those that see should be made blind. Because if you shut your eyes from doing for evil, guess what that means? You ain't sinning. Because remember that it said when Adam and Eve ate from that tree, what it said happened? And now they sin remain. He said, but if your eyes were closed, you would have no what? No sin. So when he tell you you shut your eye, they say, I don't see it. No, you don't commit sin. That's why your eyes shut to evil, because the law is not for a righteous man, but for sinners. You see the beauty of the righteousness of faith right there? Them niggas ain't gonna talk about that because they stupid on purpose. Is that all on that? I believe so. Let me finish this here so we can get to the pride of life. So everybody, I am in the to give the politicians the power to create and manage war machine. And it says to provide for the survival of the nation, to prevent encroachment of anything upon the nation, to destroy the enemy who threatens the nation, to destroy the citizens of their own country who do not conform for the sake of stability of the nation. Politicians hold many quasi-military jobs, the lowest being the police, which are soldiers, the attorneys and the CPAs next, who are spies and saboteurs, licensed, and the judges who shout the orders and run the closed union military shop for whatever the market will bear. The generals are the industrialists. The presidential level of commander-in-chief is shared by the international bankers, the people that know that they have created this farce and financed it with their own taxes, consent, but they would rather knuckle under than be a hypocrite. Thus, a nation becomes divided into two very distinct parts, a docile subnation, a great silent majority, and a political subnation. The political subnation remains attached to the docile subnations, tolerates, and it leaches the substance until it's grown strong enough to detach itself and then devour its parent. System analysis. In order to make meaningful computerized economic decisions about the war, the primary economic flywheel, it is necessary to assign concrete logistical values to each element of the war structure, personnel and material alike. This process begins with clear and candid description of the subsystems of such a structure. Now it's going to go into the draft. And let me just pick out the key points. Few efforts of human behavior modification are more remarkable or more effective than that of the socio-military institution known as the draft. A primary purpose of a draft or other institutions is to instill by intimidation in the young males of a society uncritical conviction that the government is omnipotent. He is soon taught that prayer is slow to reverse what a bullet can do in an instant. Thus, a man trained in a religious environment for 18 years of his life can, by this instrument of the government, be broken down and purged of his fantasies and delusions in a matter of mere months. Once that conviction is instilled, all else becomes easy to instill. And what you're hearing here is the pride of life. if you realize it or not. These people are so proud in their system and structures that they could say they could convince you that if you were raised to believe in Yahuwah for 18 years, that I could make you drop it in a matter of months. Even more interesting is the process by which a young man's parents who purportedly love him can be induced to send him off to war to his death. Although the scope of work will not allow this matter to be expanded in full detail, nevertheless, a course review will be possible and can serve to reveal those factors, which must be included in some numerical form in a computer analysis of social and war systems. Now, I'm going to drop down to enforcement. Factor 1. As in every social system approach, stability is achieved only by understanding and accounting for human nature, action/reaction patterns. A failure to do so can be is disastrous. As in other human social schemes, one form of another intimidation or incentive is essential to the success of the draft. Physical principles of action and reaction must be applied to both internal and external subsystems. To secure the draft, individual brainwashing/programming, both the family unit and the peer group, must be engaged and brought under control. Factor 2, the father. The man of the household must be housebroken to ensure that Junior will grow up with the right social training and attitudes. Happy wife, happy life, things of that sort. See, all these social constructs that they say, oh, the man should do this, the man should do that. These are all social constructs to break him down so he teaches his son to conform. And then in teaching his son to conform, he becomes in alliance with the ways of this world to his own destruction. Which is why I said to y'all last night to be specific, whatever night it was, why do you need to balance your feminine? Why are you in your feminine? How does that benefit and profit you as a man? Who came up with this construct? Who told you should do it? Why did you accept it? Oh, you want to hear another one? The woman's the prize. Who told you that? Where did that come from? Why do you accept it? See, it's not the matter of the statement, it's where did it come from? Why did you accept it? What type of mentality is this perpetrating? A woman's not the prize, she's the gift from God. He said it's not good for man to be alone. I make a helpmeet for him. That's why I told you it's not a man's job to be a woman's helpmeet. He's supposed to be a servant in his house because he's supposed to be a helpmeet to God and a servant to his people. The woman is to be a helpmeet to him. That is the proper order. That's what it is. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. Take that up with Yahuwah when you see him. But I cannot propagate anything other than what the will of God is. It doesn't matter how I personally feel about it. And that's what people's problem is. You care about what you personally feel. My personal thoughts, comments, or concerns are irrelevant to what the will of God is. Your parents might have gave you certain things to do and you had your thoughts, comments, and concerns. It did not negate the fact that they gave you an instruction and they expected you to fulfill it. Same concept. So I don't intertwine. I don't have personal preferences. We don't deal with none of that because it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Now, I know a lot of ministries and people do things like that and come up with personal preferences. Have we ever talked about personal preferences? No. You know why? Because my personal preference don't matter. You remember the dude told me, I don't think a preacher should wear a hat. Well, that's your preference, nigga. So what? I think you should wear a suit. I think you should shut your mouth. Your personal preference doesn't dictate righteousness. That's just what you want. We go on what Yahuwah want because what I want will not get you justified with God. So why would I talk about it? It doesn't matter. Let me see what you say. I can see that with so many reels now pushing guys like Billy Carson. I saw a friend of mine from school start to question his faith off a 3-minute reel. That's why they put him out there. And Billy Carson is trash. I mean, Billy Carson got talked about, and Emma know about it. I read Zachariah's Stitching book when I was up the road. Don't remember nothing from it. So I guess that can tell you how I felt about the information that he wrote. But that's who Billy Carson learned from. And Zachariah Stitching is a known fraudulent individual. But hey, some people don't care. But like I said earlier, I told you this before. I studied all this stuff before I got in the Word. I would not advise anyone who is not rooted in a faith to study any of these things because, hey, man, but then again, no man can pluck out of his hand that which belongs to him. And that's just a harsh reality of life. Read that for him, sir. John 10 and 22.
And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. Yahushua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Yahudim round about him and said unto him, How long do you make us to doubt? If you be the Mashiach, tell us plainly.
Tell us.
Yahushua answered them, I told you, and you believe not.
Come on.
The works that I do in my Abba's name, they bear witness of me.
Come on.
But you believe not, because you are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My
Mhm.
sheep hear my voice, and I know them,
That's
and they
right.
follow me.
Always listen to the voice of the shepherd.
And I give unto them eternal life.
I don't care who you listen, man. I can't tell none of y'all grown people who you can listen to. Because you know, some people will tell you can't listen to nobody else but me. That's not my place. You grown. The only thing you need to be doing is listen to the voice of the shepherd. And if you don't hear the voice of the shepherd and you sit your grown behind down and keep listening to them, you ought to go to hell for just being stupid because you know better. You know what I'm saying? Would you listen to a fool? Oh, I'm sorry. Would you listen to a fool in life tell you something? So why would you listen to a fool with the word?
What's the sign you hear the voice of the shepherd?
Oh, bad. I can't really answer that, to be honest with you. You'll know. It's matter of fact, I can't answer that for you. I apologize. In Hosea 2:14, he said he'll allure you. Read that for it real quick. Hosea 2:14, just like it's not about us. That's right. Hosea 2:14.
Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness.
And do what to her?
Speak comfortably.
Speak
unto
what?
Her. Comfortably.
Speak
unto
what?
Her. Comfortably.
Comfortably there. That comfortably word is leb. He'll speak to your heart. When it's the voice of the shepherd, it's going to speak to your inward man.
Like conviction?
No. Not conviction. He going to speak to your inward man. This ain't about convicting you. See, you get the conviction part from the Christian church. See, just because you hear the voice of the shepherd, it don't mean that he convicted you. Because he said, my sheep hear my voice and they do what? You're going to follow that. You're going to follow that word. You understand? I want y'all to kind of drop that there. See, conviction can only come when you're a part of the covenant and you're contrary to it. Now, the word can cut you in your heart, but that's different. That's different. When he talking about hearing the voice of the shepherd, he going to speak to that inward man. That's why he said, I'll draw you with what, Sid? I love you with an everlasting love. Remember what we read in Psalms 45:2, and we ain't even touched that yet. I just got that in my hip pocket. He said, grace poured into your lips. So if that grace is poured into your lips, then he going to speak comfortably to you. He going to speak to your inward man.
Like he did with the apostles when he sent them.
Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know the voice of the shepherd. It's not about doctrine. It's not about how many precepts a person can throw. It's that word touch your inward man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it'll cut you, sometimes it won't. But he said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. And sometimes you have to quiet your own voice and listen to the voice of God. And one thing the voice of God is going to do is three things, actually. One is going to testify the Son. Two, it's going to give esteem to the Father and the Son. I might got three. Three, it may convict you, but four, it's going to minister loving kindness and joy to your heart. Based off of the loving kindness of God, through the grace of God, through the offering of Mashiach for the redemption and forbearance of sins in times past, to the redeeming of the soul unto everlasting life. See, if you're always convicted, that means that's somebody throwing law at you. That means they're not preaching the gospel. Because he said, declare unto Zion, he said, how beautiful are the feet of them upon the mountains that publish peace, that publish salvation, that bring forth good tidings, that declare unto Zion, your God has dominion. What you feel to say there?
I said a couple years ago when we talked about that, the same word they cut you was the same word they hit
you at the same time. It's not really like you're not swinging that. And again, that's chastisement without instruction is cruelty. And Yahuwah is not cruel.
Like that Philippians. What's up with that?
Good. Yeah. Yahuwah is not cruel. Go ahead. Yeah, Go ahead.
John 14:26. Would that be today?
Read John 14:26. It is, but I just wanted to read it.
Say, but the Comforter, the Ruach HaKodesh, whom the Abba will send in my name, he shall teach you all things,
and bring the remembrance
whatsoever I have said unto you.
And that's when the word is laid up into your heart. When you had a Ruach, and bring the word to mind. And like I say, it's not going to say this is Genesis chapter 9, verse 13. That's not what's going to happen. Like I told somebody this the other day, and I'll say it again. I've told y'all this before. When I first got out of prison, and I started dealing with the word, man, I remember this here. I'm walking down University Boulevard. I'm headed to the house. I just left the apartments by the library. That's really right by the Catholic church. Left my homeboy house. I'm headed home. I see JSO behind me. I know they finna pull up on me. You know what I'm saying? And the mindset I had, you know what I'm saying? I cussed the police out when I had crack in my pocket. So now I'm like, shoot, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm certainly finna cuss him out. And who is my witness? This is what I heard. Agree with your adversary quickly when you were in the way with him. Lest he deliver you to the officer, and the officer deliver you to the judge, and you will not come out till you pay the last mite. That's what I heard clear as day. I didn't hear Matthew chapter 5, verse such and such. I heard that word clear as day. And I said, you know what? If I go against this word that I just heard and I cut this man out, I'm going to jail. So I'm going to abide by what just came to my mind. And that's how I knew that Yahuwah was real, that the Ruach was real, because that was not in my mind. That was not my intent. My intent was to cuss this man out. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even in the word that long. I would say I probably wasn't even in the word at that point when this happened, maybe 3-4 months.
You said that's like an example of like that yada, like
no, that's an example of I bring to remembrance everything I said to you. Because I heard that. I'm talking about you who is my witness. I heard that clear as day. I'm talking about crystal clear. No doubt about it. It wasn't no doubt about it that was Yahushua. And I was like, okay, this is the first time that I have ever experienced this. Now, I could be a damn fool or I could obey the word. I'm going to obey the word. And I ain't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, dude told me, man, you can sit on the hood of my car. Dude got upset with me because I was too humble with him. I said, my father, a police officer, he told me it's disrespect to sit on an officer's cruiser. So I'll just stand right here. He said, I said sit down on it, man. It's cool. Like he got upset. Because my daddy did tell me that. And Officer Hurtado, when I was in high school, told us that. He's like, yeah, you don't sit on it. That's disrespect. You know what I'm saying? But my daddy been told me, he said, don't sit on no officer's car. It's rude. You know what I'm saying? Which I ain't never had no thought of doing it, but that came to my mind then. So that's an example. Man, if that man word in you, it's going to come to mind, but it's not going to be no book, chapter, and verse. You're going to hear his voice. Now, the question is, will you obey it? That's it. And you know what most people do? They ignore it. And not even that. A lot of people be like, why would he talk to me? That's not what I just heard. I'm tripping. But if you've been in the word and you've been laying that word up in your heart and this is what you've been doing, then why wouldn't you think that he would minister to your spirit? You know why? You want something fantastical. You want the skies to open up and a bright light to come out and hear a booming voice versus just this man's spirit ministering to yours. So
I think some of that too come from feeling unworthy at times, though.
I think that's more what you're dealing with. I think in reality, it's people want, I'm talking about in general, because I understand where you come from. In general, I think people want something fantastic. They want something great that where they can say, okay, I know God's real, versus the simplicity of his operation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's simple. I'm hollering at you just like I would holler at you if I was standing right here with you. You know what I'm saying? But I am standing right here with you. Because if my word is in you, I'm always with you. You know what I'm saying? But we're not really trained to look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? But you have to look at it. If his word is in you, he is with you. He's with you. Why wouldn't he be with you? That's literally said, I'll make my abode with you and I'll dwell with you. He said, it's my desire to dwell with you. That's where I want to be. I never want to desire in a temple made with hands. I want to live with you. All he wants you to do is clean your house up and get it right so I can come live there. You wouldn't invite nobody to your house if you didn't clean it in real life. So if your body is your literal tabernacle that he wants to dwell in, clean it up. Because he want to live with you. He said that in Leviticus 26. He want to live with, see, that's what the Feast of Tabernacles is all about. He want to come dwell with you. He want to come dwell with you. He want a Zebulon with you. But these people ain't on that. They not telling us that. They got you worrying about sleeping outside in tents. That man don't give a damn about no tent you bought from Walmart. What about that tent you walk around in every day? He want to dwell in that tent. But yeah, it's the simplicity. Remember, he said, man, don't be corrupted from the simplicity that's in Mashiach. It's simple. Like I said, you got to remember, I'm somebody who wasn't raised in no word. So you have to understand my thought process when I'm knowing me, because I've already decided that I'm going to cuss this man out. You know what I'm saying? And I hear word. And from that moment on, I say, you know what? I already knew this was real, but this just solidified it, because it wasn't the fact that it was a word. It was a word correcting me from the mistake that I was about to make in real time that was relevant for me not blaspheming and dishonoring his name. You know what I'm saying? I say, yeah, boy, it's the real deal. Yeah. I say, yeah, this is what it is. There's no denying that for me. Now, I could tell you stuff that happened. Like I said, I could tell you I got sentenced before I even thought about some word, where I knew I was going to get 5 years in prison before I got it. And then heard that I was going to get 5 years in prison while this man was talking to me. He said, hey, man, you've always conducted yourself in a professional manner in my courtroom, and I like you. He said, but you've committed a crime and you've been found guilty. And I heard 5 years, and that's exactly what he said out of his mouth about 60 to 90 seconds later. And matter of fact, my homeboy, he said, man, how much time they going to give you? This is a week or so before I got sentenced. I said 5 years. He said, how you know? I said, shoot, nigga, I just know. I wasn't in no jailhouse reading no Bible and praying. I wasn't doing none of that because I didn't do it before I came in here. So why am I going to wait to get in trouble and say, please, God, deliver me? I sold them people that dope. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I tried to see if I could whoop it, but I know I sold a nigga that crack, man. Ain't no doubt about it. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not finna come in here, please let me off, God, I'll never die. Oh, I ain't never went to jail and did that. You know what I'm saying? I know I did this here. So let me see if I can get the least amount of time possible and come home. That's it. I ain't coming here crying for God. Now you wasn't crying for him before you got here. So why I'm gonna do it now? You know what I'm saying? That's just how I thought. Whether right or wrong, that's just how I thought. I didn't see the rhyme, reason, or purpose of doing that. And I noticed niggas in there, now you want to be in the Bible. I said, but nigga, when you get out of jail, nigga, you ain't gonna read no Bible no more, cuz. Like, why do all that? But maybe because I wasn't raised in church. You know, niggas in church are like, you get in trouble, call on Jesus. Yeah, I had that thought process. I didn't have a foundation or basis to have that thought process. So I'm not ridiculing them per se. I just wasn't raised to think like that. So it wasn't relevant to me. I read the book because I could on the fourth floor to do all kind of jail, reading the book of Job. Like, man, I'm not going to read this no more. I don't even know what it's talking about. I don't understand this. I don't want to read it no more. What's the point of reading something I don't understand? Like, straight up, this is literally my thought process. Not like, oh, I hate God. I don't understand what I'm reading. So what is the point of me keep trying to read something I don't know what it's talking about? I don't know what he means. I have no insight into it. And then pray be to you who and I do. At a very high level. You know what I'm saying? So I don't forget that. And I ain't saying that out of no boasting, because now I understand what you're saying. I can remember me not understanding what you're saying. I can remember being 17 years old. In my mind, one night I went and we stand in Mayfair Village Apartments, and it came into my mind like, you need to understand what's in this book. I don't know where that's coming from. Nigga, I'm in 11th grade. But it's coming in my mind like, you need to understand what's in here. I don't know where that's coming from. This is not a tangible reality to me. This is not me saying, oh, God talking to me. I don't know what this is. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain stuff that when you get in the word and you look back on that stuff and you be like, oh, that was who the whole time. But it had to be at the time when he knew that now it's time for you to do what I need you to do. Not when you think you should have did it. I heard we were Israelites when I was 17. I didn't know what this nigga was talking about when I heard that song. I looked up Deuteronomy 28:68 when he spit it in the record. I still ain't know what he was talking about. This is 1997. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, the word inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you're working.
What you mean?
Like, you feel like you're working? To be valuable?
Do I feel like I want to be valuable? I ain't never thought about it. I just like, I gotta go. I'm gone. I got a job to do. I gotta do it. That's how I just gotta do it. Like I can remember when we was living in Sundance, I could be posted up and I would just hear go walk. And I just go. And then I run across somebody, hit them off with a pack, keep on going. You know what I'm saying? For me, it was always just, I ain't even no thought process. I just got to go. Whatever it is, boom. Okay, we preach one time a week. Now it's 2, now it's 3. Just go. Like, there's a lot of times we come in here, man, I ain't got no time to stop. Usually I get here, man, and I usually, I be walking to, hit my calorie marker, but really it's to set my brain. You know what I'm talking about? Cycle any passages that's going through my brain. You know what I'm talking about? Whatever the case may be, and get myself mentally prepared because I got to go. Because a lot of times I get here, man, I go straight from work, gym, shower. Ain't even no time to eat. Just go. Just go. Like, boom, I already know. Saturday afternoon in, Wednesday coming, I gotta go. Friday gotta go. Boom, boom, boom. Like I know now, 9 times, 8 days, gotta go. Ain't even nothing to talk about. We got work to do. Like Paul say, I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. You know what I'm saying? But this my job, that's what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be ready. You know what I'm saying? All the time. Like all the time. It's not like it was years ago. Everybody calling, like asking questions about this, that, and the third. Not to say that you can't, it's just not as frequent. You know what I'm talking about? So I just be, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It had to be you. There's no way in the world I'm not that intelligent to be able to drop word 3 times a week for 9 years straight. You know what I'm saying? I can't take credit for that. I'm not that doggone smart. You know what I'm saying? And contrary to what most people believe, I don't sit around studying word for hours and hours at a time. I already did that. I did that for years. I ain't gonna lie to you, I did that for 3 years straight. My sister ain't here to physically tell you she watched it. I did that for 3 years straight, every day. I'm talking about 4, 5 hours in the daytime and 4, 5, 6 hours at night, every day, 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? So there's no need for me to have to take that long, intensive route of doing that because I already did that. Then I had a period where I preached 6 times a week, 2 to 3 times a day for about a year straight. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's process is not the same. So I wouldn't compare my process to another man's process, whatever process Yahuwah got him working on to get the word out there so people could be saved. Praise be to Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's just what I got to do. You know what I'm saying?
I'll rephrase the question. Like, if you have faith in Yahuwah, do you feel like you working in his
like worthless?
Worthy?
I mean, ain't none of us worthy in his eyesight. That's a given. But you know what I'm saying? But he's deemed you worthy of salvation by offering you the gift of repentance. So you take hold to it, you treasure it, and you move accordingly. Because we all worthy of death. We already know that. So it was never no thought process like, oh, I'm so great, I'm so this, he's offered me this. I already know I ought to go to hell. Because I already know what I was participating in. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even if I'm worthy or not, because with that thought of unworthiness, that comes from the adversary. To make you feel like you can't approach unto this man. That's why he said we have help to approach. He said, come to the throne of mercy to get help in the time of need. That persuasion don't come from on high. You're not worthy, you're not this. That's the adversary. That's the same way if you're dealing with a person, if you're dealing with a man as a woman and he's constantly telling you you're not worthy or trying to, that you're not worthy of his presence and this, that, there, and the third, that man don't come from God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about you feeling that way. I'm talking about that he is treating you or communicating to you that you are an unworthy woman. That man don't come from God. God wouldn't, why would he do that? Same token, if you're a man and you got a woman and she's treating you in that fashion, that woman don't come from God. Because why would he do that? That's not his operation. You know what I'm saying? Satan's operation is to break you down so that you don't, Elohim is love. So he's going to draw, he tell you, I got an everlasting love for you. I'm going to draw you with love and kindness. So that's not his operation. You know what I'm saying? That's some other stuff. That's why I always told you, when you go to feeling, I'm not worthy, this, that, then, the third, you already know that, but grace you saved. So appreciate the opportunity that he's given you and be grateful for it and hold fast to it. But when you start that's the adversary. You got to be aware of the game. Satan gonna always want to make you feel like you're worthless, that you ain't no good. That's why you stay away from people who talk like that and act like that. You know what I'm saying? My mama been told me that. You don't fool with. My granddaddy told me that. You don't fool with people who do that. Stay away from them. We're not talking about your people you care about. Y'all have disagreements or you bump heads and stuff like that. You might bump heads and have been, but this person ain't telling you, you worthless woman. What good are you to me? Like, why would you do that? That's crazy. That doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Let me read this last part. I know you niggas hungry. Be like, I want y'all to taste my meal warm. Look at she ready, y'all, to get out of here. So factor 2, the father. The man of the household must be housebroken to ensure that Junior will grow up with the right social training and attitudes. The advertising, media are engaged to see that the father-to-be is pussy whipped before or by the time he is married. He is taught that he either conforms to the social notch cut out for him or his sex life will be hobbled and his tender companionship will be zero. He is made to see that women demand security more than logical, principled, or honorable behavior. By the time his son must go to war, the father, with a jelly for a backbone, will slam a gun into Junior's hand before father will risk the censure of his peers or make a hypocrite of himself by crossing the investment he has in his own personal opinion or self-esteem. Junior will go to war or the father will be embarrassed. So Junior will go to war, the true purpose notwithstanding. Factor 3, mother. The female element of human society is ruled by emotion first and logic second. In the battle between logic and imagination always wins. Fantasy prevails. Maternal instinct dominates so that the child comes first and that the future comes second. A woman with a newborn baby is too starry-eyed to see a wealthy man's cannon fodder or a cheap source of slave labor. A woman must, however, be conditioned to accept the reality when it comes or sooner. As the transition becomes more difficult to manage, the family unit must be carefully disintegrated. State-controlled public education and state-operated child care centers must become more common and legally enforced so as to begin the detachment of the child from the mother and father at an earlier age. Inoculation of behavioral drugs, Ritalin, can speed the transition for the child, mandatory. Caution, a woman's impulsive anger can override her fear. An irate woman's power must never be underestimated, and her power over her pussy-whipped husband must likewise never be underestimated. It got women the vote in 1920. Factor 4, Junior. The emotional pressure for self-preservation during time of war and the self-serving attitude of the common herd that have an option to avoid the battlefield. If Junior can be persuaded to go, as all the pressure is finally necessary to propel Johnny off to war, the quiet blackmailings of him are threats, no sacrifice, no friends, no glory, no girlfriends. Factor 5, sister. And what about Junior's sister? She's given all the good things of life by her father and taught to expect the same from her future husband, regardless of the price. Factor 6, cattle. Those who will not use their brains are no better off than those who have no brains. And so this mindless school of jellyfish, father, mother, son, and daughter become useful beasts of burden or trainers of the same. Now, they call the people goyim, and when we get into protocols of Zion, but they tell you to replace goyim with cattle because they call us useless eaters. But as you can hear that, you can literally hear the social manipulation all through that, the gendering the thought processes in order for the destruction of the family. Let me get that 1 John 2 and 15 because we had 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Where are we at?
Let's get this pride of life and make it brief.
It says, love not the world, neither the things in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Abba is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Abba, but is of the world.
Tell them what pride of life means by definition. So notice how they said that the daughters expect for our husbands to do the same. But I've always told you that you could do all these great things for your daughter, and then you tell him the man that you should be with should do the same. But she was your responsibility. You're telling your daughter that a man, like I hear women say, I don't have to prove myself to no man. Why would this man want to take responsibility for you? See, we're not talking about proving yourself. See, a lot of women in this society think you're proving yourself by cooking somebody a meal. But what I always told you, if you cook regardless. So if that man was to take advantage of the fact that you like to cook, that's not him taking advantage of you. That's him taking the L because that's who you are and that's what you do. Now, if you were doing these things specifically to curry the favor of this man, then yeah, you're going to be upset. But if you like, hey, you come through, I'm finna cook this food, I was going to cook this food regardless. So you're not taking nothing from me because this is just who I am. So if you dookie stain on me, you just dookie stain on yourself. Because regardless if you were here or not, this is what I do because this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people start dealing with people of the opposite gender, and then you feel like I seen the young lady say, men ask me, can I cook? I say no, but then she showed a picture of food she cooking. Like, that don't mean nothing. But you know what that is? That's that social construct that he be pussy whipped. And that you see how all this work and this coming, because guess what? Rebecca was ready to serve Abraham served and didn't know him from a can of paint. Didn't even run across her brain not to do that. You know why? Because that's just who she was. It had nothing to do because I have to do this for a man. It didn't matter to her. This is just who I am. I got you. It's not a big deal. When you do things genuinely because this is who you are, no one can ever get over on you. And no one can ever use you. You should look at life on why you don't want to be used. Because if you don't want to be used, that means you are useless. I've told you that plenty of times. You don't want to be misused. You guard yourself against being misused. Every man and woman under heaven should want to be used. That means you're useful. You should always want to have a desire to add value to the people around you. And you should always have a desire to add value, irregardless if you get something in return. Because if you only want to add value to get something in return, are you really that good of a person? Are you really that? This is a question you got to ask yourself. I'm not saying yay or nay. Come on, give me a definition of pride of life.
That's Alazonia, empty braggart talk, an insolent, empty assurance which trusts in its own power and resources and shamefully despises and violates divine laws and human rights. Or an impious and empty presumption which trusts in the stability of earthly things, self-confidence.
See, your God is your belly, you mind earthly thing. Or I'm glad I'm not like this public. I'm not like this person who's a sinner. That's the pride of life. You trust in your riches. Like it say in Psalms 49. And things of that sort. That's what the pride of life. You trust in you and whatever you can obtain more than obeying God. And that's literally when we get to the protocols of Elders of Zion about you wanting gold. That's literally one of their protocols.
Rich man was like, I'm
gonna build a bigger house. And he said, nah, I require your soul tonight. But that pride of life is literally one of the protocols. Literally. We're going to start right here, though. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all time this evening because this was a long one. We had about 3.5 hours. We usually don't go that long. You know what I'm talking about? I appreciate y'all. I bless you out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yahuwah willing, we'll be back between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. Then we'll have service again at 8:30. I probably won't go that long in the daytime portion. But be advised, it's a double header. Yes, sir, Brother Nate. It's a double header. You know what I'm talking about? So, hey, prayerfully just weigh and consider. Because we added the added information from the Solid Weapons for Quiet Wars, of course, we got to make sure that word get dropped. But y'all willing, we're going to come back with these protocols again. I just want you to be able to understand. You're welcome. I just want you to understand how these people operate and how it is completely opposed to the will of God. and how they have conditioned us to think in this fashion to our own destruction. Because in one of those protocols, it literally says that they want to destroy your faith in God. Literally says that. Can't make it up. Baruch, my G. But I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. Who are willing, we'll be back at it on tomorrow. Yes, ma'am.